welcome everybody. This feels real weird without a microphone in front of me. I'll be honest right now. We are wrestling special. We have some great guests this week on our way out the door on podcasting. We're going to try some terrible mushroom jerky. But let me introduce the all-star cast we have inside. Of course, Charles is taking his headset off now.
This is fucking chaos.
The first big celebrity is live from Cincinnati, Ohio. He's the Macho Man's son, Gabriel Wigington. How you doing?
You're screaming.
I'm sorry. I'm all fucked up because there's no mic. Yeah, sorry. I got to talk normal. All right, sorry. All right. Sorry. And then also live in studio this week, which is usually via satellite, BV from Chicago, diehard NWA, AWA fan. You doing good, Bill?
Yes.
It's so awkward.
I feel so weird with the headset.
Just talk like a human.
And of course, we have wearing the Bray Wyatt shirt.
Right.
He's showing his who he's in. Bray Wyatt, I don't think is in the tournament. So maybe should have put him in there.
A little early in the career for that.
Dave, who you love? Is it WWF, AWA, NWA?
I'm definitely a WWF guy. I just grew up on it and never really kind of went any other way. I kind of caught up on it later on and watched some WCW and stuff, but definitely WWE.
So
WWF.
Dave's here, and then the former heavyweight champion of the world, class wrestling, still current wrestler. Are you still?
Oh, yeah.
Annapolis High School. Also, if you guys want to be on a winning wrestling team, he's the coach.
Yep.
Tyler, how you doing, Tyler?
I'm doing really well. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're good.
Good.
Well, at least
Pockets are full of Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
They don't need to
Swirled
drink.
them away. Yep.
Damn.
Somehow he put a six-pack of
Wow.
Coca-Cola in his pants. I'm not sure how he did it.
He
That's
literally
right.
is carrying a cooler in his cargo.
He's not the top guy for no reason.
So we're now in previous episodes we went over Steve and Bill's list, and Gabe got to put his top 10 list. But now we have Tyler and Dave here, and we want them to definitely show their list, and we're gonna do that here in a minute. But before then, Charles, we got a taste treat because we got to maintain our weights, so we have to have snacks.
Kick one towards you guys.
Anyone out there a fan of Shark Tank? Anybody watch Shark Tank?
I knew of this. So this is a Pan's mushroom jerky. I knew this from it was on Shark Tank Active. A little Vietnamese dude that made this up, and I forget who invested in it. I think it was Mark Cuban. I could be wrong.
So you're supporting Mark,
Okay.
the poor man Mark
Applewood
Cuban.
barbecue. This is
It
interesting.
smelled like Chinese food. Give it a whiff, Tyler. I think it
I
smelled
did.
like Chinese food.
Mm-hmm.
How's this
Salt
one?
and pepper.
So this is original. I'll kick that one.
I'm good. My wife is a huge mushroom fan. I've actually had this before.
Oh, you have?
Yeah,
Oh.
she's picked this up before. She's a fan. So.
Applewood barbecue.
Is this
I actively avoid
is
mushrooms.
this vegetarian?
Oh,
or,
don't touch the mushroom.
It's mushroom.
I'm surprised. If it's vegetarian or vegan, I'm surprised my wife hasn't gotten
Yeah,
it yet.
it's certified paleo and vegan organ.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
Yeah, they taste really good.
Oh, you've had them, Gabe?
No, fuck off. I don't have. Just watching these fat bastards
Awesome.
eat it in front of me.
Well, I gotta tell you, if you didn't tell me it was mushrooms, I don't think I would know it was a mushroom.
But I know it's not
really.
meat. I know it's not
That's
meat.
true.
I don't think I'm not for sure. No.
Those shenanigans.
Yeah, I don't know if it's mushrooms.
I would eat that though, if it's healthy.
I don't think it's that bad.
I kind of like it.
The barbecue one.
I'm a
I
fan.
thought
I
was
like
good.
mushrooms a lot, so this is just another good way to eat them.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I don't know.
Gabe, do you
What
like
are the
mushrooms?
nutrition facts on these?
Not really.
The texture's a little
Would you get
weird,
mushrooms
but
on a pizza?
I mean, I'd pick them off probably.
230 calories.
So, Steve, Pan's mushroom
It's not
jerky.
protein.
What do you
You're not
got?
eating it.
I thought they were okay for what they were, but I would never go buy a bag, so it's
Yeah.
a 5 out of 10 for me.
Tyler, what do you think of Pan's mushroom jerky?
I do not like mushrooms. I hate mushrooms. I don't ever eat mushrooms, and I'll tell you what, I would actively seek that out if I was on a diet or something.
So what do you
Which
got
I'm
out of
not.
10? You guys over this whole room.
But I'm not.
7.5.
7.5. BV, what do you want to give Pan's mushroom
I
jerky?
do like mushrooms. That just had a weird texture to it. The taste was fine, although it had a part of it was spongy, and then as you bit into it further, it almost felt like you were getting
Like
more of a
fibery or
vegetable.
something?
Yeah, kind of. I give it a 6.
Yeah. And Dave, you seem
I'm a
like
fan. I like dried everything. I like mushrooms. I'll give it a 9.
Yeah, and
I'm a fan.
And I'm with David. I thought it was really good. I'm with David Tyler. I think it's really good. I give it like a 9 too. I think it's impressively.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
I don't think I'd ever guess it was a freaking mushroom.
But would you know it's not meat?
Your whole crux is it's
trying
just
to-
not meat.
It's trying to simulate meat, and it
Yeah.
didn't taste like meat.
It's just not meat. All right, it's a Steve's review, not meat.
Not meat.
All right, so then we're going to our favorites. Now, we covered this before, so my top 10 list, and then we'll give BVs since I have it here in front of me. At number 10, I had Ric Flair, where most people would have Flair at number 1. Andre the Giant at number 9. Gabe's dad at number 8, Macho Man. Brock Lesnar at number 7. Now, the only current guy I have on my list is AJ Styles at number 6. Stone Cold Steve Austin at number 5. Now, I did put in a group at number 4, DX, and this is just Michaels and Triple H. Without that group, I probably wouldn't like either one of those wrestlers. And then Big Van Vader, because if I was ever a professional wrestler, I think I would have been Big Van Vader. And Mr. Perfect and The Rock were my top 10.
I think the perfect one is the weird one that you're skewed and you have some fandom.
Yeah, Mr. Perfect's probably a little high. Well, Vader, too. Probably most people don't care for him. Then Bill's list was Randy Savage at number 10.
You can't even read his own fucking list? Wow.
Can he see it?
I mean,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bill.
can see it.
I forgot.
Yeah,
I'm all messed up today.
That's good.
I was drinking.
My top 10 was Macho Man, Randy Savage at number 10, Big Van Vader at 9, and of course, just Charles loved this. I used that to differentiate the pre-WWF Big Van Vader because he was much better as a WCW and in the AWA as Leon the Baby Bull White prior. Stan the Lariat Hansen, one of my favorite old school, again, former AWA World Champion, Stan the Lariat Hansen. Mr. Perfect is number 7. Rick Rude, number 6 again. Loved his WWF work, but
still doesn't make sense how
but NWA, WCW, and World Class Wrestling was where he did his best work. And Ted DiBiase, number 5. Loved the $1 Million Man, but loved him even more as the main guy in Mid-South back in the day. Jake the Snake Roberts is number 4. That was like 82, 3, 4. Yeah. Which I think...
Tyler, what year were you born?
86.
Yeah, Jake the Snake is my number 4. Probably the best pure heel of all time. Double A Arn Anderson, number 3. I am an absolute freaking horseman mark. Always have been. Always will be. Sid Vicious, number 2. Just because he's Sid Vicious and you're not. And finally, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, number 1.
I like that list a lot.
Oh my God, I think you're the only person in America that likes that. And I took so much shit over that.
Gabe, what was your top 10?
I think 1 was The Rock, 2 Stone Cold, 3 was Macho Man, 4 was Eddie Guerrero, 5 was Chris Jericho, 6 Randy Orton, 7 was NWO, 8 was DX. And then I don't remember 9, 10 of the order.
Way to count it.
Those are the only wrestlers Gabe knows.
Damn. Way to count it down, for effect.
Who wouldn't have made the top 10?
Elk. I know he wouldn't have made the top 10.
Oh, man.
I put this on it because so predicting. Do you have any predictions for Tyler and Dave's list at all? What do you got?
Well, he said WWF heavy. And he's, how old are you? Are you my age or a little
39.
39. Okay, so is
He's an
WWF
anomaly
your
with the gray
era?
hair.
Yeah, he threw me off a little there. So
Yeah.
I think he's got Warrior on there, Macho Man's on there. I think all the 90s guys are on there. Undertaker, I think, might be on there. That's my guess for Dave. Tyler's, he's younger, but he has this weird old school wrestling thing. He might be a couple independent dudes
Hogan's
on Tyler.
number 1 for Tyler.
Oh yeah, Hogan and Cena are on Tyler's list somewhere. And on spoiler alert, Gabe told me Great Muta is probably on his list as well.
Dude,
Those are my predictions.
You got to respect that. It was tough for me to keep Muda off my top 10.
BV, you got any predictions for these guys' list? You think anything different that Steve didn't hit on at all?
Well, I don't know you, but if you're, I think, well, no, I mean,
I wore this shirt for a reason.
if you're a basically a WWF fan, I would expect, the majority of the guys from the 90s, maybe an obscure
You
kind
think
of
it's going to get obscure a
Well,
little bit?
I don't know. You're a Bray Wyatt fan, so you probably, not just every major star, you probably have some people that you like. I could see you pulling out something a little bit.
Like Bam Bam Bigelow or
Well,
something?
probably
Doink
not.
the Clown.
No, not Doink the Clown.
No one pulls out
This is probably not where I'm going to guess you would go, but something that would be along the lines of is obscure, say like a Steve Blackman or a Ken Shan, something like that would be sort of just a little off the beaten path. this guy, just the fact that I know you can tell he's down with Mid-South. I mean, you weren't alive to do it. I used to go every Friday night and take my black and white TV with the rabbit ears and get in channel 38 in Toledo. They would run Mid-South and AWA back to back. So just the fact that, his list is going to kick ass.
That's a lot of pressure.
It's going to be the list of a professional.
Have you seen Elk's matches?
Hey, although I've heard you're a big Hogan fan. Though,
There's a lot of influence of
All right.
All right. So, Steve, who do you want to throw at you first?
Well, since Tyler gets so much pressure, we'll let Dave go first.
Okay.
All right, so my number 10 is not surprised. Well, I was on somebody else's list. I think it was Jake the Snake Roberts is my number 10. Like an 80s kid, like I was a little guy watching it, and so when he would bring that snake out, like that gimmick was amazing to me.
Mine's a drunk. I don't know what's going on.
No, I mean that's my dad. That's my dad too, right? So like, hey, there's that. So no, but just being a kid from the time, like it wasn't as much about the wrestling, it was more about the characters and the gimmicks and everything. And he was just different. He talked differently. He had the snake, and it was just. His matches were always intriguing to me as a little guy. And
He
then
had a mullet too. Right?
yeah,
The best
and then
mullet, right?
yeah, for sure.
That's a Dave recognized.
But the '90s, what's the documentary with Bret Hart and then
Beyond the Mountain.
yeah, they did a big feature on Jake the Snake in there too. So seeing him again at that
Those
time, and
his
then
issues, right?
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
fucked up.
yeah,
That's when he first.
but
getting
then
out of drugs.
I like seeing him right now too. He's on AEW managing.
Murder Hawk Lance.
Yeah. So I think just like his talk on there
Who
is
is he
he's
managing
cool.
one more
Lance
time?
Archer.
Lance Archer.
Yeah.
Jobber
The Murder Hawk Monster. Yeah.
Is he on steroids? Is the guy he's managing on
The dude's
steroids
like
at all?
6
He's
feet.
big.
He's
a big
he's
fella.
about 300 pounds.
They need a big bowl of him.
Yeah, he's.
But yeah, he's just the way he talks, he can deliver a promo like no one else.
Is
I
Gabe
think,
awake?
so.
Oh, yeah,
He's got a neighbor's dog.
he's like the ultimate
Yeah,
psychologist.
for sure. So that's my number 10.
His psychology is unmatched.
I feel like this is a different podcast than
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. I'll shut up now. Go ahead.
Well, what do you got? We're going to go back.
Are we going back and forth, or should I just keep going?
Go.
Okay. So my number 9. So I do have some younger guys, some newer guys on the list, and this is maybe weird. There's a dog going on.
Okay.
Gabe, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
So I respect a wrestler who can like kind of go with the flow and change a little bit, and so he's still young, still newer. Well, not young, but newer. Is Daniel Bryan. I'm a huge Daniel Bryan fan. The Yes movement that was a couple years ago, building up to WrestleMania, was one of the best things I'd seen in years, I think. And I just like the way he kind of can do the heel and the babyface too, and he does the comedy work. His work with Kane, I thought, was awesome, and I'm just a big Daniel Bryan fan
Hey,
too.
he's not showing up on any of your guys' list.
He's small.
Right?
I know you guys don't like the smaller guys.
I got some small guys on
Room is
mine.
not an indication of
Yeah.
that.
So am I just going on? I can keep going
go
on.
ahead.
My number 8 is a weird one. I picked John Cena. I don't love John Cena, but I love so many people he's worked with. Like I'm a huge CM Punk fan, and I think CM Punk could be CM Punk because what he did with John Cena.
Ass beating MMA.
Yeah, for sure. Edge's best work, I thought a lot of that was with John Cena as well. So he just brings out, and I think that crazy shit that Bray Wyatt did last year at WrestleMania couldn't have worked with anybody else besides John Cena. So I'm putting John Cena on the list for that one too. Does anybody? I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep going.
Number 7 is Bray Wyatt. I put him on there just because of the evolution
bought the
that he's
shirt?
been doing. Bought the shirt. I know lots of people don't like the magic stuff that's happening right now, and I'm like, it's not wrestling. I agree, it's not wrestling, but it's a story, and I like that
he's
because
that
there's
Fiend guy?
yeah.
That guy's fucking terrible.
No.
You couldn't go. That Fiend guy's on, it's fucking abysmal.
Nah.
Oh, you like that angle?
I like what they're doing with the girl right now that they got going on with it. I love
He's a
the
modern Kane, is what he is.
Yeah.
It is fucking terrible.
I love it. No, I think the best thing that they did with him was when they had him doing both characters, and like when he would wrestle as Bray Wyatt, he was acting all face and nice, and then to come out as the Fiend and be a heel, I was like, that's money right there to me. I think that you can run 2 characters at the same time and be both of those things and get over at both those things. I mean, he was over for me. Maybe not for everybody else, but I thought it was pretty awesome.
That's tough, dude.
Oh, that mask is sick. That's the Slipknot guys made that mask for him. Now he's burned, and he's like, it's awesome.
We'll agree to disagree on that one.
Veto.
Number 6 for me is Chris Jericho.
He's on a lot of your guys' list.
Oh, Gabe's
Yeah.
he was on Gabe's list.
That just it has to do with promo work. I just
He's gonna
this
go deep
past
in this tournament.
Yes.
I think.
this past Wednesday on AEW, he cut an amazing promo on half the roster over there. Like he's just every gimmick he does works. People steal from him all the time. He's just perfect. Like he's the man, and he's
But
getting old.
He's not Mr.
But did you
He's not
buy
Mr.
a little bit of bubbly?
I tried. I tried to buy it. I missed out. I didn't get the bubbly.
Champion.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, it's funny.
Yeah.
He's gonna go deep. This is what I'm telling
Oh
you.
yeah. My number 5 is Shawn Michaels.
It's a kick.
Yeah.
His main move is the dumbest move.
Yeah. No. Okay. So again,
Kick in the face. It's up there with Mankind
Yeah.
sticking his finger in your mouth.
I'd like to say for the
you're
record,
talking about somebody who's higher up on my list too.
I'd like to say for the record that move belongs to gentleman Chris Adams, the originator of the super kick. It's a recycled move.
So my Shawn Michaels is just again the ability to change and move with like what's happening. So his work with the Rockers was kind of lame and big hair, whatever.
That was Marty Jannetty's fault.
Yeah,
Though.
but switching over to like the Heartbreak Kid in the '90s with Queen Cherry, I thought was pretty awesome. And then DX. DX was the coolest
What
thing
was
that's
the
ever happened.
'90s one you just said?
The Heartbreak Kid. He had Queen Cherry, Randy Macho Man's old.
He had the little
Yeah,
heart
Sherry
shaped
Martel.
glasses.
Yeah. It was
He
just,
did the ladder match with Razor
well,
Ramon.
like when everybody else left. When everybody else
I'm
left,
over my head.
he was.
yeah, you realize you're a room full of wrestling nerds.
Can't deny the work rate. So,
Yeah, and he was there to pick up the pieces, and like even though it was shit,
well, I mean,
he was.
I mean, I like him.
someone
I
had to be
just
there
hate
after
his
they
main
spoke,
move.
Brett.
Right.
Kick to the
Always
face.
Yeah.
The kick to the face is your fucking main move. It's almost as dumb as a leg drop.
Shots fired early.
That's the only move you could do at this point. Steve.
I can do the buffet.
Speaking of leg drops, my number 4 is Hulk Hogan.
Very good.
Perfect segue.
Just storyline again, like being a little kid watching him with Andre, and then with the Ultimate Warrior too. Like I like that he's willing to put guys over too. He recognizes it, and he knew it was time to put Ultimate Warrior over. And when he did the same thing with Goldberg in WCW, his
I
ability
think
to
you're
kind
making him a little more
Yeah,
gracious.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty
That's
sure he
dude.
passed the torch to Warrior kicking and screaming because
I'm just being
mean,
what you
out.
see on TV.
The
You
visual
saw it on
you
TV.
saw
The
as a
visual
kid,
when I was a
yeah.
little kid.
Yeah,
I've seen it through my kid.
Yeah.
You're right.
Oh,
No, I
he's
agree.
the original. I have to have creative control in
Yeah.
my contract. 'cause-
Yeah, but I think that he was the man to make them, and they did.
Yeah.
I mean, it happened. But right above that is Macho Man Randy Savage, because he's
Alright.
My dad. What's up, Dad?
just like
He's another one on all your guys' list.
Yeah, he might go a long ways.
Yeah, he's gonna.
I
Unless
think
he runs into Arn Anderson.
Yeah.
We're all at war for that. Fuck you, people.
the ability to be both babyface and heel, I thought was amazing for him, and it was great. And the whole breakup, the powers, what were the
Super
mega
powers.
The mega powers.
The mega
That
powers,
breakup
that's right. I was telling
with
Bill.
Queen Elizabeth and everything, that was fantastic.
Do you remember the interview with Hogan and Macho when they first became the Mega Powers? And they were doing this handshake like they were like coked
Yes.
out of their mind. It's like how much coke was going through those two when they went to do
Veins
that?
were just popped.
Yeah, they were insane. Anyways, he remembers.
Yeah, and my number 2 is Mick Foley. I don't know.
That is really insane.
yeah. But
I like him, but I hate his main move.
Number 2 on
I think it makes sense though.
Maybe if
Really?
Dave
Well,
was
I
going to be a
mean,
real wrestler, he would have been Mick
consider-
Foley.
Oh, that's who I would have been.
Considering-
I watched
could've
that
been
stuff all
Vader,
the
he
time.
would've
Like,
been Foley.
Yeah,
that's
but,
who I
I mean,
would've been.
considering you're a Bray Wyatt fan, that makes. I mean,
Right,
yeah,
not
he's,
getting
you
my
know,
hair cut, not probably showering before a lot of
Okay,
Nobody wants to work with
have
me.
to ask which version of him do you like the best?
Dude, bug.
I think
Bang, bang, kick the jet.
I don't know. I guess Mankind, because of some of the things he did as Mankind.
of Hell in a Cell?
That Royal Rumble match with The Rock, where he took chair shot over chair shot straight to the head as Mankind, was
Yeah.
insanity.
And now he has CTE.
Shit himself.
Just he's like somebody who
Number
sacrificed.
2 seems crazy.
Yeah, but he just sacrificed it all.
That's what's
all
great
for
about
the
these
business.
lists. Is all the different.
it's nuts.
his work
The
on
things
Wife-
that it goes to show you how crazy wrestling
Yeah,
can
yeah,
be.
yeah.
Like,
try to-
shit hits him different than hits
Yeah.
him. It's so weird.
His work on Wife Swap too. Did you see that? That was really good.
He's only half joking. That's about.
No, I
saw that.
I watched it.
I saw that episode.
I hate all of you.
He was on Wife Swap?
Oh yeah, you got to go back and watch it. Celebrity Wife Swap. It's great.
Okay.
And then Stone Cold is my number one.
No
just
Rock
because
on his list.
I took him off. I had him up there, but I couldn't pick Rock and Stone Cold. It felt like to me it was so they're very very similar, and what a lot of what they did was because of each other, I think. But I don't know. Some of Rock's John Cena stuff kind of turned me off. Like I don't know. That feeling need to come back and to win
Okay.
during that WrestleMania was
Yeah.
kind of weird to me. So
Do the favors, man.
yeah. No Vader on my list. Sorry guys.
That's all right. That's a respectful list.
Yeah.
It's
Thank
not
you,
as
thank
deep
you.
as BB.
I like it. No, I like it. It's a good list. I have no problem with that
Foley
list.
number 2 seems crazy to me.
The only problem I have with Mick Foley is,
That's crazy.
first of all, his work is frickin' Cactus Jack. Again, this is pre-WWF, right?
Jesus, BB
Dude,
always got the
when he would
asterisk. Always at the
frickin'
asterisk.
he would get a running start off the apron and try to drop elbows on the concrete with dudes that were like 15 feet away, and half the time he'd just miss and hit the concrete. It was hilarious.
All right. So
All right,
that-
Tyler.
So, well, before I get into my list, you guys were talking about how wrestling is just different for everybody. And there's like a pretty prominent independent wrestler who said when you're starting in wrestling, you're going to be somebody's favorite wrestler. No matter how lame you are, you're going to be somebody's favorite wrestler. And that just goes to show, like, everybody, it hits everybody differently.
So what number are you in your own list then?
So I obviously out is number one.
that would be hilarious.
Dude, please have yourself on there.
Honorable mention. Tyler Allen.
So this list changes every time except for the number one. So I don't even know what version of this I'm giving you, but
How many times have you wrote this down in a notebook
Oh,
over the years
geez.
since the 8th grade?
there's probably
Scratches.
top 10s of WWF, top 10 WCW, top 10 Japan,
Oh.
top 10 this. So there's several.
You're gaining
but-
respect from BB.
Did you used to scrutinize the PWI 500 every year?
Oh, PWI, I never even looked at it.
Really?
I didn't like.
Oh, I
PWI.
used to get the magazine and just look at it and be like, no,
Yep.
fuck that. No, this would be.
I know a lot of guys
You
who are in that
edited it.
500 list.
That was bad. Anyway,
It'd be cool to see Elk in there one day, PWI, because I'm sure they're very big fans.
Yeah, listen to the
Gabe is
podcast.
So
you got my vote.
for number 10, I wanted to go with a modern guy. He's probably my favorite modern guy right now is Cody Rhodes, because everything he does reminds me of like old school NWA stuff. He's like just that kind of like the family's always involved. There's always blood feuds with Cody Rhodes, so
Yeah, the Rhodes
that's
family.
why he's up there.
There's a weird connection with the Rhodes family. Sorry to interrupt you, but like
I
the
agree with Gabe. Fucking Cody Rhodes.
Fuck
Dustin, dude.
I mean,
I work with Cody Rhodes' sister-in-law.
Oh, okay.
So like they just went down to visit them, and like all of a sudden pictures are coming up of like my friend from school and Cody Rhodes together at like Disney World. I'm like,
Heather tells me
what
about
world is this? I like this.
you got any,
Yeah, that's
Gabe's
weird.
not impressed.
Yeah.
Gabe, not right.
you got any nudies of Brandy?
No,
or-
I don't. I don't have any of that. Sorry.
Also, state champion wrestler Cody Rhodes, by the way. Then number 9, I actually have Mankind on there.
Nice.
I read his book when I was in
did too,
5th
yeah.
grade.
What was the name of his book? It was big.
Have a nice
Have a
day.
nice day.
Yeah, big book.
We all
Actually,
own
Bill
it.
bought it and loaned it to me. I read it.
Yeah.
I think
Remember
all,
you guys
all
all
4 of us in this room read that book.
Gabe, have
It
you
was
read it?
it was a
Gabe?
pretty good book.
Hell no.
When I was in 5th grade, Mr. McGuire will tell you this, I used to run around with a sock in my pants, not for the reason you would think, but because I'm in 5th grade, and I would pull it out, and I would threaten to
Wow.
Yes.
give people the
While
meaning
you were in
of the
5th
class.
grade when all that was happening.
You should
Oh.
have expelled
BB was
immediately.
Oh, come on, man. I know.
Well, yeah, we would also tell people to suck it when we
Gabe, there
played
were.
soccer,
I don't
so-
understand your problem. There were plenty of pictures in that book.
Number 8 is the Great Muda. He's so good. He's face paint,
That's-
and just the way he moves and everything.
You like an aerial flippy douche too?
It's not the aerial flippy stuff. You got to watch it.
He does a cartwheel into the
He-
corner
no,
with
that-
an elbow.
that was
favorite
one of
move
his
that he
moves.
does- My
Sorry.
favorite move that he does is he drops this elbow.
Yeah.
Which, if you ever see The Rock drop an elbow, it's every elbow the Muda
Yeah.
drops is almost like the same way of
It's
the.
just
It's
snap.
it's
It's
a
so
it's
good.
a it's a pause
So
and then
good.
a really fast like corkscrew thing. except he did it at like 3 times the speed The Rock did it.
I just had to Google the Great Muta. Like,
Oh my God, dude. Let's put it this way. You guys can laugh all you want.
Oh, believe me.
But you missed wrestling freaking greatness with that. That dude was
You guys are
awesome.
lucky Tame and Honda didn't make this list. You would have really had to have Googled him. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got me on that one.
Yeah.
We just lost connection with Gabe.
Yeah,
He's out.
Sting, but I want to preface this by saying
That's the only list because I remember we brought that up during the show. He's
Not-
the only list that brought that up.
not Crow Sting.
Oh, good.
Super Surfer Sting. With the blonde, spiky hair.
Yeah.
That's the Sting that I
The
like.
true WCW.
The true WCW.
Yeah. You don't like the moody one?
No, I
What's
don't like
your
the
issue
moody
with
one.
the moody one?
But he's literally the Crow. So it's like just a
great
direct,
character.
yeah,
You
like
didn't put a spin on
What
it.
about
No.
what about in TNA when he just became the Joker?
exactly. Like,
He just was literally watching movies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
that's me now.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
lame.
then, of course, back before Ultimate Warrior was a douche and he was just one of the Blade Runners. Yeah.
then
First of all. Warrior gets no respect by it.
don't worry.
Oh,
Number
yeah.
6, I have Jericho.
Man, I'm telling you.
Of course,
You guys love
yeah.
this guy.
He's
got to work out now. You got to admit, he's looking really doughy, really old.
Oh
He's
yeah.
gotta work
Well,
out.
he's old and his chest is separating. He's got whatever
He's
that's
in his
going on.
50s now,
Yeah,
right?
but on the
He's
cycle,
50,
man,
51.
it's AEW. They don't push the steroids enough. Man,
You-
get that trend going.
You don't even have to be like
testosterone
you don't even have to be bigger than like 160 pounds to be
Huge,
You
yeah.
do not
Right.
need
It's
to.
a problem. I
You
think
don't
that's a
need to be
big
big
issue
at
with
all.
that league.
Yeah, I think that they're.
We all agree Darby Allin sucks. I fucking hate that guy.
The problem with that is you
This
can't
Steve showed up.
you can't. I understand. We all recognize it's all it's predetermined, but you cannot really justify. Like I find it hard for you to be able to with a straight face take that someone that's like 170 pounds, like say a Darby Allin, and justify that he's going to beat a guy like Lance Archer. Like you're just insulting people's intelligence that would ever
I beat
happen.
Tyler in a wrestling match.
That's never happened. That's never happened.
I think there should be a rematch. I'm calling 30-second squash match here.
Well, nowadays, if you look at Gabe's arms, I'm in trouble. I think,
Yeah.
but we'll never see that dream match. That'll never happen.
Yeah,
We're too old now.
Crazy. Jericho. I predict he's going to go deep. Let me fill out a bracket. I'm going to take Jericho deep.
There's a
for you
decent
guys.
chance of it.
Yeah, really good. Wow.
Number 5, I have the Ultimate Warrior.
I'm with him on that. I think that I loved him.
But on any given day, he could be number 3. Like
He sucked at wrestling, but he was exciting to
Exactly.
watch.
So, yeah.
He
was.
could also be
He was
one of the
close to being
5
on
most
mine.
overrated
Yeah.
wrestlers in the history of the sport.
But he could also be one of the most underrated.
Are we really calling it a
wrestlers
sport?
in the history?
Hey, how dare you?
He shook ropes like no one else I've ever. Everybody else
He
who
was
tries to
so
shake the rope looks
juiced, too, man.
stupid.
He was
He
jacked.
was
The only,
awesome.
the only
Run
guy in
into the
wrestling
ring
with
like
less
that.
moves than Hogan.
Played squash matches, and his work with Rick Rude
Was
was
very-
actually
very
pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it's good they had someone like Rick Rude, so someone could actually carry him through a match.
Shitting on your dude.
He was Bill Goldberg before Bill Goldberg, and I don't mean like Goldberg in the '90s. I mean Goldberg now. That you can make that match go longer than 2.5 minutes. He was fucked.
No.
Well, that's true. I won't deny that, but he had awesome
I
face
love
paint,
the Warrior.
and his boys looked cool.
He was a cool character. I'll admit that.
Almost.
Best
Too, we
things
talked
in
about
life don't last longer
space
than
and
2.5
shit.
minutes.
Oh my warrior!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 4, Kurt Angle,
No.
Olympic gold
That's 'cause
medalist.
You got like your real you bringing in this real
He
wrestling
won
shit all
with
the
a
time.
broken freaking
There's a
neck.
little sneak in there, of course
He
there
can't
is.
move. It's just so fused. It's so
Well, before then though, he was pretty good.
He
though.
was the milk, spraying the milk on everybody, doing the stuff with Stone Cold, wearing the mini cowboy hats. That was all great.
Good.
And then actually, I think his best stuff was probably in TNA, which, I mean, that's hard to say about somebody. But
Would you guys around this room? Would you guys consider him the best real wrestler to have transitioned? Like, actually, you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can't really think of too many others.
absolutely.
Well, you
Well,
got
Lesnar.
Lesnar. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lesnar would be there. Notice he's not absent
Yeah.
on a lot of lists.
He's
Steve's
on my
got a
list.
soft spot for him, though. Yeah.
Number 3, I have Stone Cold because he's Stone Cold. Everybody likes to see him drink beers and kick a little ass, so of course. Number 2, Macho Man. Again, just because, mostly Macho Man because he was associated with my number 1, which of course is Hulk Hogan, who let's be honest, none of us would even be doing this without Hulk Hogan right now.
That's true.
Hulk
I said the same
Hogan.
thing.
WrestleMania 3, this fat kid was cheering for Andre the Giant.
I was with you on that one.
Yeah, I know. It's like, go Andre!
I was rooting for Iron Sheik.
But WrestleMania 3, it's all Hogan, and the Attitude Era doesn't happen without Hogan. It's got
So
to be
he's
Hulk
just that
Hogan.
forefather that you got to recognize.
Forefather.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, it's just I still to this day when I turn on anything on the WWE Network, well, Peacock now, but it's probably a Hogan match. I'll watch some stuff, and then all of a sudden I'm like,
Do you turn on
WrestleMania
his
6.
porn where he's dropping the N-bomb and everything else?
Well, no, that's Terry Bollea. That's not Hulk Hogan.
Hanging up in a love sponge's wife.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan has an American flag, and he likes kids.
Yeah, he likes kids.
Terry
Sells
Bollea.
As long as they're not black.
Terry Bollea.
And the best part is it doesn't matter whether you turn on a match from 1984 or 2004. It's the same match over and over and over
blind
again.
grab a Hogan match and try to guess the era.
All right, so it's interesting, all those different lists, you know. Pretty funny.
Yeah, were we going to jump in on each other, Charles? I mean, was that a question really when we were talking earlier? We haven't even got to the matches yet.
We're going to be here till 12 o'clock.
We're going to miss both nights of WrestleMania.
That won't be a bad thing.
Oh,
So then we're gonna start the tournament. Charles, you're gonna host. I think you should give Gabe the first match.
That way I don't smack
Like
you.
you said, you give one person the match. He'll tell you his reasoning and why he picks him. We'll all have a couple seconds to veto. If nobody vetoes, it wins. Then go on to the next match. Picks the next person.
So what do you want to do order-wise? I'll start with Gabe.
Start
and
with
kinda-
Gabe.
and
So we
we'll
all get-
roll through the room this
So
way.
everyone
back to
gets
Gabe.
one
Yeah,
veto
yeah.
for the entire thing, right?
Yep.
One veto, and I'll keep
And-
track.
And you get a veto.
Yeah, definitely.
One.
When Eddie Guerrero shows up,
You-
he's got to go.
Come on, man. You and I actually have to
Is that
come together on
racist?
this.
No, he's terrible.
I like Teddy Guerrero.
It might be a little
Fuck out
racist.
of here. What's that?
It might be a little racist. At least we didn't put Chavo on here.
You can't be racist if you're a minority. It doesn't work like that.
That's true.
All right. So let's start out with Gabe here. We'll give him the number one seeded Ric Flair versus the 64 seed. Greg the Hammer Valentine took shrapnel on this one. Who you got,
Yeah.
Gabe? We'll give you the first pick of the big tournament. Ric Flair versus Greg the Hammer Valentine.
We're not even going to talk about this. Let's go, Ric Flair. Come on.
Are you sure we don't have to explain to you who Greg the Hammer Valentine is first?
Oh, man.
I'm just
Well,
asking.
I mean,
They're
the
calling
fact
out-
that you would have to explain that to me is why Ric Flair's winning.
Fair enough. Okay.
Fair enough.
Good point.
So you're taking Ric Flair. Does anyone have any issues with Ric Flair?
No one's going to bat for Greg the Hammer Valentine.
I mean, if we're allowed to use a veto, why not just fuck it all up? Right?
Just everything. Oh, man.
I'm probably the only one here that
Can
half-ass
anyone
likes
tell me?
Valentine.
Okay, so can someone give me some highlights? Why did Greg the Hammer at least make 64 relative to? Give me
Former
some.
Intercontinental
Well,
champion.
multiple
Give me some
times.
good
Tag team
stuff, I
champion.
guess.
Well,
He's been
Roddy
wrestling
Piper.
for 57
yeah,
years.
multiple.
He was a little tubbier though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
back
He
in
was
the
built,
day.
unfortunately, like Elk, except Elk's a lot fatter. But,
The answer, Charles, is because you needed a number 64.
Yeah. Someone had to go there.
So,
Yeah, he filled for a long time in WWF that sort of mid to upper mid heel. You know, he was constantly battling. He had like a long feud with Tito Santana over the Intercontinental Championship. He had a long run off and on as tag team champion with Brutus Beefcake.
Did you like him at all because he had the blonde hair?
No, you know what? I no.
that BV hair.
and he bled.
Oh no, yeah.
And when he'd get blood all in
Oh
his
yeah,
lung,
well
you're like,
yeah, all of
Ric
them do
Flair.
that. Yeah, I liked Valentine because, and this is kind of because I started wrestling with the old school shit. I like guys that frickin' work body parts. Like the old school, develop the whole work the thing. You know, I'm like old. I'm down with like the old school Minnesota Wrecking Crew work the and since I'm
more attention Greg Hammer Valentine's got
Hey,
for 30 years.
and I'm
fast-forwarding
a
most of
Flair
the
guy, so anyone that was using the figure 4 at that time, I liked a little bit.
Just highlight Flair. Let's move
All right,
on.
yeah, Flair wins.
No one
Don't
gives a
ask
shit.
questions you don't want the answer to. All right, I'm just saying. Yeah, and yes, I can talk for this long on just about every wrestler we can talk about.
It's gonna be a long day, Joe. Did anyone bring a lunch?
I have dinner reservations.
Might want to just give me like a wrap-up box here, because
We got like the Academy Awards for Bill.
Who's that?
And the music comes on, Bill stops talking.
All right, so
Damn
then
it.
wrap it up. Out of that one, we've got another. This is going to have some Tyler implications. Okay, we've got number 32. Well, this is the Steve.
Okay.
Number 32, the Great
Muda.
Muda. I love saying Moolah. I'm like, fabulous Moolah. The Great Muda versus number 33, Ron Simmons or Farouk. Steve, who do you got and why?
It's a good fight. Ron Simmons, first black champion in WCW.
Oh,
But
wow.
he beat Vader, so fuck him. Give me Great Muda. So, there you go.
Does anyone have any issues with said pick? Anyone got any feedback they want to?
That's a tough one, just generally, because like you said, I mean, it's Farouk, it's Ron Simmons. He was in Doom. He's got a great career, but Great Muda's on my list. I'm not going against it.
BB, do you have any input? Let's go to
No,
BB.
you know what? Let's put it this way. I don't think you. It'd be tough to make a real strong argument against either one winning. But again, Muda was like one of my last honorable mentions in my list. So, I mean, I would have picked him just on fandom.
All right, so that was shorter for BB.
Well, I'm recognizing
He's editing himself.
you don't want me to filibuster on every wrestler, so I'll
Whatever
try.
you're passionate about, BB, bring it to the
Hey,
table. I
I'm
love it.
passionate about a lot of things here.
All right, so then we're moving on. This one is a little fucking kooky. All right, this is Tyler's pick. Number 17, Harley Race. That seems incredibly high. Who made this
Bill,
seating?
tell him why he's 17.
Okay, first
Okay,
of
hold
all,
on. Let me get through it.
all right. I'll wait till he makes the pick.
Where's number 48? Scott Hall. We put Harley Race at 17 and Scott Hall at 48.
Okay, wait, hold on, stop a second. I'm gonna make your pick first, but I know where you're going with that, and I have something to say
You're
with
out of
it.
your fucking
Please
mind.
go ahead.
All right.
All right, Tyler, this is your round, your pick. Number 17, Harley Race versus number 48, Scott Hall somehow. What do you got, Tyler?
Here's the issue, and I know.
The fuck, the Harley Race is 17.
Well, Harley Race is. You can't argue he's a legend.
Yeah.
He's an absolute legend, NWA champion, and all that stuff.
little bit do this to this list.
little bit before my time, I really loved Razor Ramon so much. If I vote for Harley Race, it's purely for Bill.
No.
Don't vote for
And
No,
it's
you
purely
should-
for the. I don't want other wrestling fans to be like, this idiot.
No. You should vote the way
But I'm
you
going to
want
vote for Razor Ramon.
Okay.
I'm
Now-
gonna
Right, some
vote for Razor Ramon.
sensibility to the room.
Okay, so two things. So I don't feel strongly enough about this to try to use a veto on this because I don't care enough about either one of them. But here's the thing. Part of the reason that I think that made sense when he was saying that you would certainly not get this. No, I can justify it. If you let me try here, I will. So Harley Race is a multiple-time NWA champion. Now, the problem here and for this conversation is that the end of his career was basically up to the time when you guys first started watching.
Oh, so you're
like
calling
the
us
King
newbie
Harley Race.
posers that wouldn't understand the depth of his career.
But then
Fuck you.
to some of Dave's points earlier about some of David's points earlier about people being big because of who they worked with. He basically was the one that made Flair the superstar in NWA. He's the one that passed the torch in the Starrcade 82 and the cage match.
Starrcade 82.
Hey, well, you know,
It's a good
But
match.
yeah, it's a great match.
It's a good match.
And that
You
was
got an hour.
that was back when people could make a 60-minute match look good.
I'll tell you that.
Now the part that the other part though here with you, you're jumping up. This is the part that makes me know that you good that you're not in this thing here because you don't know a damn thing about wrestling. Okay, I would argue actually. I think there's a stronger argument that Scott Hall has no business in this tournament in the first place because other than his run as Razor Ramon, he was basically just a druggy freaking piece of shit that ran shit down. Okay, I'm sorry. I will
What
give
about
him that.
the Diamond Stud in AWA?
Eh,
Come on now.
I'll give him a little. Well, I'll give him that. I'll give him more when he was freaking when he was Big Scott Hall and him and Kurt Hennig were the tag champs. But other than that, yeah, he had a really good character.
Yep.
He freaking lived off it with NWO until he got so fucking drunk they had to take him off TV, and Kevin Nash had to carry his ass for the rest of his career. So just the fact that you're like shocked that these rankings how they are says that you don't have the first fucking clue about wrestling at all. Oh my God! Seriously, we've been making cracks about Gabe. Like, did you watch ever? This would be like me coming to you and making some kind of fucking crack about some obscure fucking cartoon. Bite your tongue.
I get that I'm on
Oh my god.
This is crazy.
Harley, overall, as far as like overall career accolades, Harley Race is probably in the top 10 of this list.
Yeah,
Overall.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's one of the 10 best all time, but I think he's in that discussion.
Because BB's like
Scott Hall's not. Scott Hall is not in the. Okay, no. Let me. Here's the context though. But here's why that matters. Scott Hall could not be legitimately considered one of the 10 best wrestlers of his own generation. Not even close. He wasn't one of the 10 best wrestlers at any time in any of the. Oh well, great. Yeah. He might have had maybe a 1-year period where he was one of the 10 best wrestlers in WWF. Never mind all of wrestling.
And in 1978, when Harley Race was holding it down, and BB was watching it with the rabbit ear, we're going to agree to disagree.
All right, so it's Bill's pick.
I
So
love how
What's the next match?
If he'd have picked Harley Race, I'd have vetoed.
would have saved Eddie Guerrero.
So now we move on. We got BB's
Where the
pick.
hell did Gabe go?
He vanished.
he had to use the bathroom.
There he is.
All right, hey, Gabe's back. All right.
All right.
Text me.
So then we got number 16, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes versus 49 JBL. Over to BB.
right.
I'm not going to register an opinion, but number 16 seems a little high.
Again, that's indicative of the fact that you don't know the first fucking clue.
Is this before or after his polka dot leotard?
Yeah, at the absolute end of his career, and he only did that because frickin' McMahon fucked people that moved over that he didn't. McMahon fucks people he doesn't create. It's happened since fucking the beginning of time with him. But anyway, I like JBL. He's a good wrestler, had a decent career. This is not this is almost less of a discussion even than Flair versus Valentine. It's Rhodes and it's not close.
You want to say something?
I want to see this podcast now.
Fucking ancient ass wrestlers BB's pulling out of his ass and done. Alright, so
Now it's Dave's turn.
now we got Dave. Alright.
Oh, change that.
I got to talk about Chris Benoit, don't I?
Yeah, you're the one. You get to deal with the murderer.
No,
So then we're heading over to Dave. We got
we're gonna need
number
you to be
9.
impartial on this one.
Yeah.
We
Well,
got number 9, The Undertaker, versus number 56, Chris Benoit. Dave, good luck.
so, like I said before, I wasn't much of a WCW guy, but I remember when they showed up. The Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit. I don't remember who else was with them. It was 4 of them. Perry Saturn, maybe, and
Malenko,
somebody
yeah.
else.
Malenko,
right? And I
Man of
fucking
1,000
hated it.
Yeah,
I hated it.
And no charisma.
So like that killed those 4 guys for me a lot. And then once they developed a little bit more, it was okay. And once I saw them a little bit more, they were okay. But I got to go with Undertaker just because I hated those 4 guys when they came in so bad. It just didn't.
that
It wasn't my
includes
thing.
hating Eddie Guerrero?
Did
you hear this game?
Dave's not happy with that.
Yeah. So I got to go with Undertaker.
You're not going to bitch about the 9th seed for Undertaker?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Chris Benoit is oddly proportioned.
He was a
It's
horseman.
been
He was awesome.
He was a
Like,
horseman.
he had great moves.
No, yeah,
great matches.
Hey, yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
He murdered his family.
In
At the end of the day,
yeah.
at the end of the day, do we want to be the show that has a murderer?
Yeah, we should have vetoed him.
Who's going to use the veto on that one? In fairness, I think he probably loses that one even if he hadn't killed his family.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Okay, now it's Gabe's turn again.
All right, so now we're headed on. Here we
we're
go.
not even through the first half of the bracket.
No.
This is awesome. I'm going to lose my voice before the first round goes.
All right, Gabe. You get to pick the winner out of number 24, Yokozuna, versus number 41, Rowdy Roddy Piper from They and They Live. What do you got?
That's what he's from.
Not years of wrestling.
Yeah.
Gabe, go ahead. Pick the winner of this fantastic matchup.
So I can't see Dave, so I don't know what his body build is. But clearly, I'm not a fan of big fat guys. And we're gonna go with Hot Rod Roddy Piper. Fuck Yokozuna. No way that Yokozuna has Hot
What's
Rod
your
Roddy
justification?
Wait, Steve's thinking real hard about that veto right now. Steve loves him some Yokozuna.
Piper. No Yokozuna.
What do you
no.
got for justifying that pick?
There's
Now talk us through it, Gabe.
So Yokozuna for me was just, I didn't really see much of him growing up at all, but the stuff that I do remember, not very talented, not very, he might be charismatic, but I don't really, that didn't rub off on me at all. And then Roddy Piper, he's always just crazy and funny, and he's been around forever. Even when he was prime, he was a great wrestler and entertaining, and then he always pops in on Raw every once in a while, and that's always funny too, and he does stupid stuff like that, so. He's got more staying power for sure.
I'm out of my element.
Well, he doesn't pop up anywhere now. He's dead.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They're
But
both dead.
Roddy Piper's got
Wait,
great
Roddy
life
Piper
skills
died?
and stuff.
He didn't know
R.I.P.
Piper was dead.
R.I.P.
He's been dead for a while now. Yeah.
Yeah, they're both dead. Yeah.
The question is, Steve, are you going to use it?
Ooh.
Before I update it, what do you got?
No.
It's
Because Piper did have a very long
Piper was
career.
great.
He was in the main event of WrestleMania
Again,
1.
Beevy's gonna tell me I'm out of my fucking element. But
Roddy Piper's
He
great.
did have a great match with Bret Hart in the SummerSlam.
No.
And Yokozuna's run was only about 2 years, and then
Yeah.
he died from fried chicken.
But Gabe's right. I mean, what is your, besides Yokozuna being a large gentleman, what do you?
He was
what do you-
heavyweight champion. He carried him.
But
to-
he didn't
when
do
the
much,
WWE
'cause
dropped
Well,
in the early to mid
You hate
90s.
Hogan? What did he do?
there was who?
Huh?
He's part of that family too. He's
Who?
part of that huge
Yokozuna
wrestling
beat Hogan
family.
to win the title.
Who?
The Rock.
No,
and-
I'm saying from an athletic standpoint, what does Yokozuna bring to the table?
First of
Nothing is a
600
giant
pounds and he can
Okay.
get to the second row.
Okay, so
First of all,
actually
You're
though,
in the wrong room, Gabe.
actually for the first half of that run, he was pretty athletic for his size.
And he's only like 450.
Yeah, he wasn't.
He's in a box.
It wasn't until he started
Like,
legitimately
the
hitting
second row
600
for
pounds
his
that he
playing
couldn't do
challenge.
stuff.
Well, I didn't veto it. I went with Piper. But if
Yeah.
you
That
get
was
a
a good
chance,
choice.
and WWE Network, watch the Yokozuna documentary. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
it's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone in the room.
Everybody
says,
see- yeah.
Yeah, we all watch the same crap. Something wrong with
Yeah.
all of us.
I think we just don't like Piper is why we. I've never liked Piper, but it's kind of hard to get pissed off
All
about
right,
that
well,
one.
All
what's
right,
up?
so I think it goes to Steve for this
Yeah.
pick, I believe. All right, we got number 25, Sergeant Slaughter, known from G.I. Joe lore. And then we got number 40, $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Looks like, what's it, Kenny Rogers or whatever?
Yeah, he does.
Is Virgil on this list? Did you guys
No,
put Virgil?
no, Virgil's not on this list.
No, Virgil's not. No, and neither is Doink the Clown.
Steve, who do you got out of the winner?
Sergeant Slaughter was a WWE champion, where $1 Million Man
Oh.
never was.
Looks like Bill Cowher.
He got amazing heat against him too when he was against Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
He
he
was
pretended to be an
Iraq.
Iraq
No, when he was-
sympathizer.
Yeah.
that
He was a main event in a,
When he
in
was
a
with-
WrestleMania.
Chic Ed on LKC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He wore those hooked boots.
All that
good
being
stuff.
said, $1 Million Man kicked a basketball when a kid he's gonna give a kid $100 and kick that is the best thing I've ever seen.
Oh,
$1 Million Man wins this one.
Slaughter also had the AWA championship for quite a while.
I don't care about the AWA.
but at the time, it was considered one of the majors. Yeah, so.
Does anyone?
Yeah, anyone
veto
got
it?
any feedback? Anyone want to justify any love for $1 Million Man besides kicking a kid's basketball?
I got all kinds of love
He was
for
the
$1 Million Man.
perennial heel.
What do
like,
you
yeah.
got?
I,
He's
yeah,
one of my-
I hated him as a kid.
Yep.
And that's what I was supposed to do.
Oh, he was great.
That's why he was
Is
good
it
as.
nice?
$100
love him.
bills and
very
people
tough
love-
matchups. I feel.
Yeah.
Like you weren't gonna be wrong. I think
Yeah.
either of your matchups. They're really tough.
Yeah.
they scrutinized.
Sergeant
Yeah.
Slaughter did go to
This
war
is
with DX.
this
for a
is
while.
almost one of those. Just you're picking your taste on that one because Slaughter probably had a more accomplished career overall, but DiBiase.
Gabe starts laughing.
I'm just saying DiBiase.
BB's gonna quote the '60s.
No, I'm just saying Slaughter.
Wikipedia of wrestling
Yeah.
over here. Oh, Sergeant Slaughter had 10 tag
Hey,
team
excuse
wrestlers.
me, Sergeant Slaughter had a GI Joe, buddy.
Yeah.
He was a legitimate GI Joe. You can't.
$1 Million Man's gonna win that.
I don't think anyone's
$1 Million
vetoing
Man. Very good.
Oh, here might be the first veto coming up, though.
Did you not expect us to? What's this one?
Oh, this is a big
All right,
one.
everyone pack in.
You
for an
are
hour.
lucky that one didn't fall to me. Go on.
All right, so this is gonna.
Every time you move, this thing goes off.
All right, man, calm down.
I just coughed real
We're a
quick.
shit show. Is what we do. All right. So this is a huge matchup.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got number 8.
Seeded 8.
This is Tyler's pick. We got Randy Macho Man Savage going toe to toe with number 57, Double A Arn Anderson.
Bill, fuck out of here.
You fucked my seed. First of all, I like to say that you fucked my boy in the seeding because you should be higher than that. But go on.
What world championship did he win?
He won many championships though.
World championship. Macho Man did. That's why he's ranked higher.
I'm not saying he should have been ranked 8th, but 57 or something? Come on.
Higher than
He won the race at 17.
Worse than the past
Well,
20 years.
if you're going by championships, you're actually right, Steve.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
So,
you could have
Tyler, this
justified
is all
ranking him higher than
you.
DiBiase.
Talk us through any kind of love you have for either one of these two gentlemen or anything, and what do you got?
Well-
It's your pick.
Obviously, Randy Savage was on my list, so I love both of these guys. Arn Anderson, great. I think a good old school technical wrestler. Like he's the enforcer.
Dave's got no love for Arn Anderson.
But at the same time, he was always the supporting guy. He was always the other guy in the group. He was always the second
He
guy.
was the wingman.
He was always the wingman.
He's the
He was
enforcer.
the enforcer.
That's right.
To the star. So you gotta go with Randy Savage.
And Arn Anderson's promos sucked. Randy Macho Man's promos were great.
We got BB's turn.
No,
He'll agree.
He was.
I can't argue with
Arn
this.
Anderson did a great job backstage for the past 30 years.
I would. Oh my god! First of all, now had this match come to me, I would have picked Anderson just to force him to use his fucking veto because fuck Gabe. But yeah, make him stand up for his daddy. But no, you can't. I mean, I'm a big fan of Double A. I can't argue with this. I mean, he's not I mean, we all know he's on everybody's list. But you take that frickin' stretch from I don't know, would it be like 85 or like WrestleMania 2 period,
My
maybe
first year
86,
to, you know.
up to the first year or so in WCW, and that was, I mean, you don't get really much better than that in that run. He was about as good of an overall wrestler as you were going to get at that point.
Steve, you got any input on this matchup? You seem like
I
you're
wanted to see
quiet.
BB use the veto. I so wanted to see him.
Yeah.
Use it. But no, I mean, Macho Man's better than Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson's best promo is when Ric Flair's talking. so that tells you how, you know, sorry.
Yeah, you know,
We're gonna keep it going. I'm gonna
no
let that-
argument. I'm certainly not going to use a veto on it because that would just be stupid.
Now this is a bit of a softball I would argue here. All right, so I want to talk on terms.
For the record, The Miz beat John Cena in one of the
He did
WrestleManias.
WrestleMania.
He's a real world guy.
He retained his world championship.
Oh, wow. All right, so we've got this is BB's pick, right? You just missed out the matchup of the century.
Seriously.
I had
BB's
Arn
pick.
Anderson ranked higher than The Miz at least.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's really a little bit giving him a big nugget there.
I wouldn't be surprised if you would have ranked Gabe ahead of the match.
All right, so we
Justified.
got number 4, John Cena, going toe-to-toe with number 61, The Miz. BB, I'm going to throw it to you. What do you got in this historic matchup?
Okay, I like The Miz. He is... Go on.
He's the only one with mic skills in a shit
Yeah.
era.
He is this generation's best chicken shit heel.
Yeah.
Basically, he's the one that's always got to win from some kind of a fluke or bullshit. He plays the talk shit and then run like a little bitch role better than pretty much anybody now. He is one of the few people that can talk.
He never gets hurt, ever.
No.
This is insane.
Well, but he gets a lot of shit because he doesn't take a
He's
lot
got
of
no
risks in his
fused
matches.
discs or nothing like that.
No,
He's got
no,
these
and he's
wrestling
gotten a lot of
trappings.
flack over the
doing
years
real good,
because he
yeah.
doesn't do a lot of the like the heavier,
That's a hard
more extreme bumps that others do, and he doesn't take a lot of risks in matches, so he keeps himself that way. Cena, I mean, you can't really argue with a resume. I mean, I'm kind of lukewarm on Cena. I love the Thugonomics Cena. I'm kind of love-hate with the one with the You Can't See Me one. But yeah, there's really no argument here. Cena, it's also not close. Cena wins.
Anyone got any other feedback?
Yeah.
I can't see. All right. Gabe, you got anything on that? What do you got?
Nah, Cena hands down. I mean, The Miz is actually very entertaining, but if he were in any other era, he'd be shitty.
That's what I think it is.
I don't know that I agree with that. No, because
Forgive me. Put him in the 60s with Stevie's prime guy.
no,
Miz versus Harley Race.
because I'd argue that he's probably as old school as it gets right now. He plays that traditional role that you need in any wrestling
This
promotion.
next one's gonna be for Dave. That's a hard one.
The best one is going to Dave. That's the best part. Oh, fuck.
Oh, what is this
All right.
one?
So we've got a tough Sophie's Choice for Dave coming in here.
Damn.
Number 29.
This is not hard
Big
for me
Show.
at all.
There's 36 CM Punk. And we just talked about your love of CM Punk.
Yeah,
this should
so
be
the Big
interesting.
Show,
What do you
like-
got there, Dave?
I actually think the Big Show's underrated for a lot of his in-ring work. They misuse him a lot with the back and forth, I think. But like some of the matches he put in with Braun Strowman,
Did you watch
those
the
couple.
show?
I didn't watch the Big Show, but
Yeah, he should lose
show,
based
whatever.
on that show.
Yeah.
Bad
That show
news.
was terrible.
Yeah. But those matches with Braun Strowman were amazing. What both of those big guys could put together. So I do have a lot of respect for him. But CM Punk, I think, is part of the reason that I started watching again in like 2009, 2010. Like I was out of it for a few years, and he brought me back in. That Summer of Punk, that he cut that promo on stage, sitting there, and just talked mad shit about everything that was real going on. If it was, maybe I'm a huge mark, and it wasn't. But like CM Punk all the way for that.
Huge mark, Charles. We got the lingo of flying.
And that would be the pipe bomb, by the way.
Yeah,
The fuck-
Yeah, that it changed. Like that's what hooked me, I think, and I was watching. That was must see. I wasn't even DVRing. I was watching live during that time. Oh yeah, because it was like I don't know. It was can't miss for a while. I thought.
So who do you got? Who
CM Punk. CM Punk.
I don't think I got like the definitive answer.
6 minutes of
Sorry.
CM Punk love. Who do you got?
Big show.
But that being said,
Does anyone have any rebuttal? The Big Show diving out first round seems huge to me.
Well, the Big Show problem
Bad
was,
match.
huh?
Bad matchup. That's why he's out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he flip flopped on his character way too much
Yep.
throughout his. And they had him losing to Floyd Mayweather. He would lose to Rey Mysterio randomly.
Yeah, he was always
They
the
never-
joke. The
yeah,
joke at
he was-
WrestleMania too.
he was the
He
big joke.
always.
CM Punk, no one's gonna argue that.
yeah.
And the long, huge.
Well, no, WWF or WWE ruined him, but they do that with every big man.
Yeah.
Now, if he could have stayed close to the physique he was as the giant WCW, I'm not. This isn't like a go back to old school. When he was the giant in WCW, in fact, even through the
that's a good
NWO
one for
thing,
Gabe.
he was athletic. He would fucking drop kick. He'd go off top rope. He
He's
wasn't.
lost a bunch of weight since.
Well,
He's
yeah,
an
but
athletic
he
dude.
was at that time. He was probably about 350, 375. He was reminded. He kind of a lot like Strowman is now, except without the strongman credentials. But he was extremely athletic. Like he was just doing things that the guy that big shouldn't be able to do. But that seemed to die almost immediately after he got in WWF. They had him just.
Be huge.
Yeah, they just make him we're going to make you like Andre, put on 150 pounds and shove your ass into somebody in the corner. And it fucked his whole career. So I don't disagree with the choice.
All right, Gabe. Here's a big one for you. According to everyone, everyone's kind of waiting with bated breath. On
I'm curious if Dave's gonna have to veto this one.
I might have to. I will. I'll use it for him.
Wow.
There
we go.
We got some
Wow.
veto whip happening right now. All right, so here we go, Gabe. This is your pick. Number 20, Bill Goldberg versus number 45, Daniel Bryan. Gabe in Cincinnati. What do you got?
All right, I'm going to go with Bill Goldberg.
Dave?
Hold on, let's let them justify. What do you got for justifying that pick? Well, talk us through your thought process on that one.
Got a couple reasons. One, I mean, strategy-wise, if he's going to pull his veto out, you got to pull that veto card early. It's just gamesmanship. Two, look, Bill Goldberg, for me, growing up, I was probably in, I don't know, 5th grade or something when he was on that streak of like 100-0. Is that about right, Tyler?
Oh yeah.
So we like having that like thing that was pretty sweet for us as a little kid. That memory for you guys probably cheesed on it, didn't like it that much. But for me as a little kid and him like coming in and just squashing people left and right, and then that entrance music, it was dope. For a 5th, 6th grade kid, like he was awesome. He was like the baddest. He was like Mike Tyson for wrestling for me. And then Daniel Bryan, I remember him in Nexus, and before he got like kicked out and stuff. And wasn't a fan. Yeah, like,
It was like
so not a
NXT before NXT.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he just he's okay, but then like the whole I think he benefited a lot from this like independent movement with the crowd and then just pushing him more so than what he was actually entertaining in the ring. And he was entertaining. I'm not saying he wasn't, but not to the degree that he eventually got to as far as stardom.
I think, like Bill says before, like I think he was a big on the independents before. They brought him in and they shit on him with the Nexus. So, like,
Yeah,
that's
good.
kind of that.
Wow. All right, let's go around. So, Steve, do you have any opinion on this pick?
Bill Goldberg has tarnished his legacy with these old crap
God,
matches he has
Jesus.
right now. But I don't care for Daniel Bryan, so I'm not going to veto.
Elk, you got anything?
I'm not gonna veto, but I'm in the same position as Gabe. Like the wrestling nerd in me is Daniel Bryan, hands down. But the 5th grade kid in me is Bill Goldberg, hands down. So I can't use the
So
veto.
I dare
I'm
hear Bill Goldberg's music and not get pumped up.
Exactly.
I would, yeah, I would,
Sparklers, like
I wouldn't use a veto on this at all. But so Goldberg is sort of like the next generation Ultimate Warrior, right? He had a really good gimmick.
So
They
the 5th grade
they
kid,
they
it's all
they,
right,
they
yeah.
freaking marketed him beautifully. He came out, he did his little shtick. He just destroyed people, did his move. The jackhammer was nothing special, but it looked cool, so people loved it. You know, spear jackhammer over, great, blah blah blah. He was just a total freaking marketing created star. No real substance at all. I'm probably gonna make some enemies here. I think Daniel Bryan might be the most overrated talent of this generation. I will freely admit that he is.
Show his face.
I will freely admit that he is that he's very good in ring. As a technician, very good. I just have a hard time believing that he beats the people he beats, and I think that the whole yes move and all. It's kind of.
He has no emotion.
It's kind of cheese.
No.
It's
all
kind
like
of
It's all
They-
stats.
no. When I do have emotion,
He's an
no,
analytics
I don't on
wrestling
too
man.
many, but when I do, it's pretty
Sabermetric.
hardcore. Yeah, no, I don't know. I've never,
His
I've
move
never.
average is really low.
Like, I understand why people love him. He's never really done it for me. So I'm not real big on either one of these
really
guys,
has.
to be honest with you. If I had to pick, if you went historically, I mean, Goldberg's thing was one of those like once in a generation historic runs. You get credit for that. Bryan's done enough in his career right now. I'd probably give the edge to Bryan, but I mean, you could light them both on fire, and I wouldn't give a shit.
All right, now let's save Dave for last. I
didn't mean to offend you.
No, it's fine. No,
Dave, talk us through what you got.
Okay, so I think you're right. I think that he benefited a lot from that underdog story, and they've used it a lot of times in lots of different ways. And you know, him being a little guy does hurt him. I hate Goldberg a lot, but like a lot of the newer stuff is my problem. This idea of needing to come back, and some of those Saudi Arabia matches were like
Garbage.
the worst things I've seen, and I've never seen Daniel Bryan put on a show like that. Which is from a wrestling point of view, it makes it really hard for me not to use my veto, but.
You're not going to use
I
it?
think I might save it.
Oh.
I'm a little afraid. I'm afraid of something because I was like, I'm going to do it, but then I was like,
Mankind's coming up.
that's what I'm afraid of.
Well-
Like, I'd rather save Mick Foley or CM Punk if I need it later. So I think I'm actually going to reserve my veto.
Yeah, one way to look at this is if you're dealing with this now, you're likely to be face man in every
I
round.
know.
Goldberg
Right?
with a buzzer
Yeah.
beater at the end.
Wow. Yeah, he did bring up a point. Goldberg did almost kill Undertaker.
Yeah.
He did kill Bret Hart too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was what was cool about the jackhammer is because
Yeah.
it looked dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to drop this guy. on his
It
head or
shouldn't
not.
have been, but
Right.
yeah.
So
I'm
Dave
gonna-
getting strategic.
I'm going to update this.
All right, it's a locked in.
So Goldberg moves on. Huh?
Wow. All right.
Goldberg. Oh, it's my turn, huh?
All right. So we're going around. Who we just go to? That was
Gabe did
Gabe's-
that one, so
yeah.
Okay, keep me on task, Steve. All right. So that double J Jeff
Jarrett is in our top 64.
He's won.
God damn, this is BV again.
No, I can't stand this guy.
I don't like him.
But he held world championships in multiple leagues. I mean,
He
Yes.
made leagues, so he could have the win.
well, yeah. I mean, granted, his dad owned half of them, but that's fine.
Yeah. Intercontinental champion. He's
Hold
won
on,
heavyweight
hold
titles.
on, hold on,
He's
hold
won the
on.
WCW
You don't have
heavyweight
to-
title.
I didn't lay it out yet,
Oh,
Steve.
okay.
Slow
Sorry.
down.
Sorry.
Slow down.
Yeah, his dad Jerry owned TNA while he was the champion.
All right,
so
somehow we've got number 13 Kurt Angle against number 52 Double J Jeff Jarrett.
wait a minute.
Guitar.
You fucking ranked Double J over Double A.
Double J's homeworld title.
Oh my fucking god!
Anderson
He also held fucking Donkey Nutsack. I mean,
Steve, you made the great radio.
For the record, I sent this to you and Gabe to check the seating before we started.
well, no, but if I would have argued about that, I'd be like, "Oh, you just want your boy higher." So I take enough flack already. I wasn't gonna.
Well,
fuck with
after
that.
all
This
that,
is Steve's pick. Go
after
ahead.
all that shit about Double J, Kurt Angle wins this easily.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Just kind of what we talked about on his list. Just
Yeah,
enjoying
and
like, his
Kurt Angle's a great
transition.
wrestler. Double J is a piece of shit that always wanted to be Ric Flair. Give me Kurt Angle.
Did Kurt Angle stay around too long though? He's really fallen apart.
Well,
I mean, his body.
it's embedded in all these old school real wrestlers,
You
you
just
know.
can't hang it up.
Just keep wrestling till you die. I mean, look at that Russian Olympic wrestler. He, he's 100 and still wrestles.
Yeah.
So yeah, something wrong with us wrestlers. We're all kind of
We can't
retarded.
hang it up.
Yeah. So
All right, so we're going on with Kurt Angle moving forward. Not much conversation because everyone agrees Double J should be on this fucking list.
he's one time.
All right, so this is interesting because there's gonna be some people with some opinions on this one. I think. All right, so we got
Not really.
not really no.
No.
All right, number 12 Sting versus number 53 Lex Luger. This is Tyler's pick to go. What do you got, Tyler?
It's got to be Sting. Easy cheesy. Lex Luger was always the guy that you were like, man, this guy could be $1 million. This guy could be the head of a company. He could be the face of everything. And every time they tried, it failed miserably.
Are you
so.
gonna hit him with the potential word? He had all the
All the
potential,
potential, yeah.
and just didn't.
He was a bodybuilder that wrestled a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
and
Well,
now
he was
He had
athletic,
a long
though.
career though, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
You could compare him to he was arguably a way more athletic version of the Ultimate Warrior. Like, way more capable as far as moves, way more capable as far as just in-ring stuff. But the Ultimate Warrior was a star, and Lex Luger wasn't. And he killed Miss Elizabeth, so...
There's a lot of death on this list.
Is he the one who snapped his leg when he jumped out the top rope? Or
That
was
was
that
Sid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gross.
Lex Luger looks like a skeleton now. He lost
Oh, yeah?
steroids. Did not agree with him.
Oh, he's off the cycle.
Yeah, him and Paul Orndorff are fucked up.
Oh.
I'm surprised they're not dead.
All right, so we're gonna lock in Sting for Tyler at number 12. Here, moving on. All right.
BV gets a kind of a current one.
Yeah, it's a little bit for BV. That's not good. He needs this is way too good. All right, so we got number 21. Well, again, BV's pick number 21, Roman Reigns versus number 44, Rob Van Dam. BV's pick. What do you got, Thomas?
Okay. This is probably going to surprise you. I'm not that big and never was that big of an ECW guy. Because all they did was see how many things they could hit each other. All they did was see how many different things they could hit each other with and do crazy shit to make people go, ECW. Yeah, it was a total. It was sort of like the hardcore version of what I hate about new wrestling. Let's just get everything in now and like watch every AEW match that doesn't involve one of like 2 or 3 people, and basically you get let's do every possible move under the sun in 5 minutes, and then nobody sells a single thing, and then okay, let's do a roll up for a victory. It was crap. Van Dam's really athletic, but he half the time couldn't stay frickin' sober long enough to have runs. And he needed other stuff. All he lived on was the whole effing show shit that I'm sure someone else created for him. I don't care much for Reigns as a overall, but now that he's actually had a chance to go heel and you see a little bit more depth, I mean, overall resume at this point, I think he's close, and he's on pace to far exceed Van Dam. I don't think it's as close as you would think. I'm taking Reigns in this one.
Okay. Anyone got any other feedback on that? Anyone?
I don't know if this changes your mind, BV, but Rob Van Dam is the only professional wrestler to be on the cover of High Times magazine. So
From what I understand, he's actually like very deeply involved in the cannabis
Please
industry.
pick Booker T in the next round.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, that doesn't quite. I mean, it's not saying it doesn't sway me, but not enough to.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll take Reigns here.
All right, so we go to Dave for this.
BV, did you guys purposely like set it up?
I really do think you might have done that. That's all right.
So we're going on. Dave's picked this round. We got number 28, Booker T, versus number 37, Sid Vicious. Throw it over to Dave Havens. What do you got?
All right, so
Do
I'm
it, Dave,
not a
do it.
WCW guy, right? So I have to base this on WWE careers because that's what I'm more familiar with. And as that goes, I have to pick Booker T.
Oh man!
Because right, Psycho Sid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He didn't know that he was the guy who broke his leg, so you can't.
Sid Vicious. don't you, first of all, never. Don't
But
you
the
ever in your
Spinneroonie.
fucking life call him Psycho Sid, all right?
can he spin a Rooney in the ring?
No, I'm just saying. It's not Psycho Sid.
Just go to one person. Go to Bill. See, he's gonna be.
Bill, if you don't use your veto, I'll lose all respect for you.
Oh.
Well-
No. So this is why I have the problem. Now, I actually, if I'm being honest, I think maybe his. Fuck you. If I'm being honest, I think that maybe his ranking might be a little high. So I have no illusions that Sid Vicious is one of the top tier of greatest wrestlers of all time. I love the guy for a lot of different reasons. Most of the stuff that you probably would have never saw anyway.
Yeah.
I was old school, drop to the knee, from wherever he damn well pleases. I'm Sid
built that
Vicious,
up,
you're
basically,
not.
yeah,
Yeah,
no
the original skyscrapers. Take the guy out, make him take him out on a stretcher, and then wait for him to get halfway down, go kick the guy's ass, knock him off the stretcher. Love that shit. The originator of Powerbomb, the only one that ever really did it full born as a big guy, not that bullshit fucking slow drop that Kevin Nash did as Diesel. But realistically,
Is the
Booker
veto
T.
coming?
No, because Sid Vicious.
He knows he starts some shit.
Sid Vicious did it stiff, but the reality is that Booker T has had a better career than Sid Vicious. I can't make that because I'm not going to be a total bitch and just pick what I like. I'm actually treating this as like if this were like a real tournament. Booker
This
T.
isn't real, right?
Booker T. But I'm trying to be objective and treat this as if
All across the rest
who are the guys? Yeah, in the pantheon of wrestling history, Booker T is better overall, has had a better career than Sid Vicious. I can't argue with it.
Wow, biggest shock of the tournament.
Very big, mature.
Just
move
because
is what
I
would
love
say.
the guy doesn't mean I'm
Right.
I think that
See, the problem is that the people I love aren't clearly one of the 5 best, most famous of all time. So it's tougher for me to have to use because I have to. If I'm going to use a veto, I need to justify it. It'd be tough to justify.
Yeah, but
He was cooler than Booker T.
But we often talked about, and Tyler touched on it quite a bit. Like you have his Daniel Bryan. We were shocked that he didn't. You have a certain love towards certain characters, and they just hit you. I'm just shocked. It's a very mature move.
Yeah, very much.
Well, no, but I just don't want to just sound like some fucking idiot that doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's
Gabe
my
has no
boy.
problem with it. He doesn't
Yeah, so no, I mean, it's a legit. And to be completely honest with you, it would have been tough for me to sit here with a straight face had that come to me and pick Vicious, even though I like Vicious a lot more.
All right.
Oh wow. We got an early exit of a star. All right, so now we're on to Gabe, I believe. All right, we got number 5, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
You don't even need that. It's over. You don't even need to ask him. We know who he's picking.
Number 60, the Iron Sheik.
Yeah, just The Rock. Keep it moving.
Well,
Yeah.
I hope he faces Eddie Guerrero.
I mean, come on. There's really no need to have any of us talk about it.
well,
Like,
I,
we
but
all know The
I
Rock's
would
better.
argue that the Sheik, someone can talk him up at least a little
You would.
bit.
I would
know,
argue
throw
that
it to
you're a
this
fucking
room. None of
idiot.
you
No,
guys
there's
are-
no way.
He's the originator of the word jabroni.
I love
Yeah.
I love his Twitter account.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his Twitter's
Yeah,
really
he's good at
good.
tweeting.
But yeah, no one's gonna argue that.
I know it's an argue, but I'm saying, like,
Look,
you got any
Sheik-
love for the Sheik.
Sheik underrated, and he I think he would beat a lot of people here. But I mean,
You almost click sheet.
Yeah.
it's The Rock.
Okay, I just
No, The Rock's
trying to give everyone their due.
The Rock's one of the biggest stars in the history of the industry. It's
She's
Sheik.
arguably a bigger star now
Yeah,
than he was
that's
back
true.
that's a
then.
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve's next one's hilarious. Dude.
Oh wow.
All right, we got number 2,
I still want to take Orndorff.
Hulk Hogan. Isn't Paul
Mr.
Orndorff at
Wonderful.
63. Mr. Wonderful. Steve, who do you got? Your big pick. Give me, at least talk both sides of the aisle for me.
All right. Well, Paul Orndorff did main event WrestleMania 1.
against.
Against Hulk Hogan.
Well, but in a tag team match.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And he has one of the best pile drivers in the industry, but now he's got a gimp arm, and he did kick Big Van Vader's ass in a locker room in a real fight.
Oh, like a legit style, like beef
supposedly,
fight.
yeah.
In flip flops. That's what I heard. So, but all that being said, it's fucking Hogan. I don't want to take Hogan, but put Hulk Hogan down.
Yeah, this was
Anyone
settled.
have any opinions?
This was settled 35 years ago. Orndorff turned on him, pile drived him, and then they had a main event in one of the big pay-per-views, and he kicked the shit out of Orndorff.
It's real to BV, damn it.
I'm just saying, it's over. That pretty much ended the discussion. Although, going back to my old school love, Orndorff had very early in my time watching wrestling, had a really freaking top-notch program as a babyface back in NWA against my boy Ivan Koloff. Love the Russian Bear. They had an epic freaking Russian chain match. Just saying. Good shit.
To tie it back real quick, I saw Ivan Koloff and Greg the Hammer Valentine
man.
in a Russian chain match at
Awesome.
Taylor Center High School.
Oh my God, dude! Wow, was that like the 55-year-old versions of both?
Oh
of them?
yes, they were.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Koloff was in his 50s when I started watching him in the 80s.
All right, this is a good one.
All right, so now we're on to who's
Tyler.
picking? Tyler.
Oh.
Tyler got the big pick here. Here we go. Number 31, Diesel Kevin Nash versus number 34, kind of the middle of the pack here. 34, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Tyler, who do you got? And tell me what you got. Why?
You know, Kevin Nash is great for what he was. He came around when in the 90s when guys looked like, you know, they had like those goatees and that like flowing hair. And, you know, he was a good, I would say, champion for that era. But, I mean, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is an absolute legend, you know. You got to go with the Dragon on this one, I think.
What makes Ricky the Dragon Steamboat a legend?
WrestleMania 3. with
WrestleMania
Macho Man.
3 with Macho Man, one of the greatest matches ever. All the matches he had with Ric Flair in the NWA. I mean, and then he came back as an old man against Jericho and was having great matches. So, yeah, he's just super duper talented. And he was like never a heel. He was one of the very few guys who went his entire career as a babyface and super believable as a babyface. So,
He had a good feud with Jake Snake Roberts. Too.
yeah, and good
Anyone
feuds
got
with
anything
everybody.
else? Dayton? Yeah.
And Diesel can't stay healthy. He hurt himself walking to the ring.
I mean, if he would have been fake Diesel, it would have been more of a discussion. But
Wow. I'm a little surprised there's not a bigger argument about this.
Nah.
All right.
I mean, I could start one. I agree with it. I agree with it 100%, so go ahead.
All right, so now we're moving on. We got BV's pick. We got number 18, Edge Adam Copeland, which is weird. You guys does he use his name a lot now all the time?
No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, versus number 47, BV, Ravishing Rick Rude. We might have a bit of an upset here brewing. Let's go to BV versus BV's pick. What do you
Okay.
got?
I would like. So we all know I have got much Rick Rude love because you know he's in my top 10. I never really connected much with Edge. He was entertaining enough or whatever, but I think that his run was just as much a product of the fact that they didn't have a real star to be at the top as it was that he was a top guy. And I'm sorry, Rick Rude has got to be one of the freaking 10 most underrated wrestlers in the last 30 years. First of all, Rick Rude, if I wasn't, you know, if they were no seeds or whatever, Rick Rude would piss on him literally, figuratively, and as a wrestler. Rick Rude, go ahead and veto if you want. But
Does any of that seems a
it's
bit controversial?
it's
Number
not
47
it's
up
not close.
I think it's a lot
BV's
closer.
wrong.
I think the young bucks in the room would say.
I agree that Rick Rude is the pick, but I think it's way close. I don't think he pisses on him. I mean,
Dave, your
Edge is good.
no, I think I just good on the mic. I think that his big run was what you're saying, like about that. Maybe he didn't have somebody else, but his work earlier, his tag work, I think is some of the best tag team work that happened. Just those 4 or 5 tag teams they had in the early 2000s were amazing. What was going on, but not worth a veto because Rick Rude is the heel.
Oh,
you know?
you
He is-
Alabama sweat hogs.
Yeah.
Did
any opinion there,
did Rick
Gabe?
Rude have sex with Lita in the middle of a ring? I don't think so.
He had sex with random fans. He would just call up into the ring.
And he
He
did try to
chased Kathy Lee Gifford around
yeah,
the
he did
set
try to
there.
feel up Cheryl Roberts once too.
Oh, and
That's
putting
catching my case.
I-
Edge did it legally.
airbrushing your opponent's face like on your junk is or on your ass is a great heel move.
Yeah, here for Charles here.
Yeah.
If you want to see his best work, watch his time in World Class and his frickin' feuds with the Von Erichs family.
So I think that's our first bigger number upset.
Yeah, that's a big upset there.
I'm shocked nobody vetoed it because
Yeah,
it's
those
someone I
black and
like.
white videos, Charles, are real awesome.
What's that?
Said those black and white videos are real awesome.
Hard words from someone who can't learn, doesn't know how to use an iPhone and to get, without a delay or whatever.
Oh wow.
Why don't you go hook those Beats headphones on and see if those work?
Calm it down, B.
Calm it
down. Listen, so we're on to Dave. We got the most overrated by all you assholes ever. You're going to tell me how great he is. I'm going to watch a match and be bored to
Are you
tears.
talking about Chip Gaines?
Yeah, Chip Gaines and number 15 AJ Styles versus number 15 Nikita Cole.
I mean,
this is a BV
Oh.
influence.
he didn't make it hard for me.
All right, what do you got,
Yeah.
Dave? This is your pick, your call on this one. What do you got?
I think AJ Styles is a phenomenal wrestler,
Ooh,
right?
man. See what he did
His yeah, that's his thing. He says, I don't know, maybe, but just his matches are like, I don't love the whole Southern boy kind of like persona that he's got like in his delivery a lot of times, but his matches are just great. Like everything he does, and it's just except for the one that Charles.
I tune in. He's
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
great. Just tries to-
In fairness, he really is a Southern boy.
Yeah, I know too. That's probably racist. I don't know.
Oh,
But yeah, I just think that his work is just great. Every time he's in a feud, he puts everything he can into it and moves around the ring like a lot. Nobody else can right now, I think. So
Anyone give me some feedback on Nikita Koloff besides BV?
Nikita Koloff was great. He
I'm just
was
talking shit to BV.
Big WCW guy.
yeah.
right?
Him and Sting had a lot.
Yeah,
of
he
good
was mixed
matches.
in with the Road Warriors a lot.
he's not like from the Russian Bolsheviks team. Is that?
no,
this guy-
he's
that's different
he's from
Koloff?
he was from the he was brought in as sort of Nikita or as Ivan's nephew.
Oh, okay.
They added another. They added.
Meanwhile,
I
it's
think it
from,
was
like,
Barry
George
Darsow, Crusher Khrushchev,
Okay.
also
Yeah,
known
yeah.
also
Charlotte,
known
North
as
Carolina.
Axe and
Yeah.
a number
okay.
of other characters in WWF. I love Nikita. He wasn't really Russian, and he was kind of stiff. And like his main part of his career, like they put him in when he was still kind of green and he didn't know how to do a lot. So he'd give he had like the Russian sickle as his his finishing move, this big clothesline. And I think half the time he didn't know like how to do it right. And he'd like fuck people up for real. But yeah, I mean it's
Stan Hansen made a career on that though.
yeah. Well, he couldn't see. He
That's
couldn't
what
see
he
for
said.
shit. So yeah, I understand he's blind as fish. Yeah, no, that's
good.
good shit. Look, I know you're not gonna. Okay, look. Example for the AJ. I'm not. The AJ style matches, right? Because we go on YouTube and watch the matches from the feud that he had with your
Send
boy
me a link.
with Nakamura and the IWGP. I think it was the Intercontinental matches that they had.
We'll agree to disagree.
Phenomenal matches.
All right, moving on. This is a big pick for Gabe, the young buck of the crew with Tyler here. So this is number 10, Andre the Giant, for someone who made a lot of your guys' lists.
no, just mine.
No, mine too.
Oh, this is
Oh, he was.
Bobby.
55, Jake the Snake Roberts.
Bobby.
What you got? We're throwing it to Gabe Wigington. What you got?
Ooh, it's a hard one.
Okay, so these two don't matter to me at all.
How dare you!
Seriously. Cut his fucking mic. Cut him now. Out.
That is a single best response.
Oh my God, dude.
About them. They're old. They're shitty.
You are lucky you are in another state. You be getting fucking like quadruple teamed right now. You be getting an NWO fat boy beatdown right now.
That's the best thing I've ever heard
If
today.
your fat ass can get down to Ohio, let's see it happen. Well, you can't. So,
Oh hell no. All
Andre the
right.
Giant sucks. All right,
Whoa.
like great. You're fucking 7'1", awesome. That's all you got going for you. That's it. Jake the Snake. Your only fucking gimmick is a fucking snake. And yeah, cool. Like whatever. Fuck off. You both suck. All right. Coin flip. I don't know. We'll go with the Giant. Just 'cause
Oh,
whatever.
thank God. Thought I was going to have to pull the veto out.
Really?
Oh
Yeah.
my lord!
I-
Anyone going
Wow.
around the room about the matchup? Not Gabe's controversial comments.
He had the best analyzation of a match so far.
Dave, BB.
I don't think I'm glad I didn't have to make the choice. Like, that would have been impossible.
It'd been a lot harder for the four of us. than
Yes,
for
This-
him.
this-
fell to the young
The
guy. didn't give a
snake,
shit.
the snake almost gave Andre the heart attack, and he
Yeah.
got out.
What do you
Whoopee!
fucking do?
Yeah, so
He eliminated himself from the Royal Rumble
Rumble,
because
yeah.
of the snake, right? Yeah.
yeah,
That's fantastic.
yeah.
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride.
Gabe doesn't like movies or wrestling, apparently.
Not bad
This
ones.
next one's falling to Steve is pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, Gabe.
Oh my god.
Yes.
You
This
just-
is
If it's not sucking his own dick,
Alright,
he doesn't
let's
like it.
go.
Big enough to get up there.
This
You
is
wouldn't know
Steve
nothing about
pick.
that.
This is a bit of a selfish choice for Steve here, a little bit, I would argue.
yeah.
Number 23, Triple H, Paul Levesque versus number 42, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
That's not a tough choice for him at all.
Yeah, Kurt Hennig. I'm not justifying it. It's Kurt Hennig.
Well, talk us through it a little bit, Steve. What do you got? Just what's your love of Mr. Perfect? Talk to us about
Best vignettes in the history of wrestling. Hit that 3-pointer. Hit that putt. Strike with the bowling ball. And he's a great wrestler. Triple H has a lot of bad WrestleMania matches. Like the one with him and Booker T, I fell asleep. It was fucking terrible. Without DX, Triple H ain't shit because he was terrible pre-DX. And so, and Mr. Perfect was great his whole career. Except for the very end.
Gabe's mouth popped open so much you
Dude,
could almost
Triple H,
put a
no.
porno dick in it. He was like,
So is Gabe
Yeah,
going to
though.
veto it?
Yeah, what do
Got a
you
real
got, Gabe?
fascination
Let me
with
throw it to
dicks
you,
right now,
Gabe.
BB. What's that?
Gabe, go ahead, talk us through. Any conversation you want to bring in on this one? What you got?
Yeah, Trips is awesome, man. He's got a great entrance. He had DX. He's like, yeah, some of his WrestleMania matches do suck, but again, longevity, especially for my life, dude, he's been around since I've been watching from the get-go. Like, that speaks to something. He still does stuff every now and then. Pretty solid career.
Yeah.
You gonna veto?
can I? Well, I have to hit you with your own argument though.
No, don't do it.
Because what you threw at me on
That's what we
everybody
thought was
when
gonna
I
happen.
talked about people I liked, what you threw at me is but they won world
I thought you were
championships.
going to veto with Sid Vicious.
Yeah, I'm
No,
shocked
but
you did.
no. I'm not going to veto this because I love Mr. Perfect too. But the thing is that you're
I
basically
threw all the rules out the window.
Rewrite the rules.
I did.
your hypocrisy has evidenced
humongous.
itself. Yeah, because last time I checked, he's got a lot. My recollection is Kurt Hennig has one world championship, and it was AWA before you knew who the fuck he was.
You really popped up AWA for me. So
I'm
I was
just
like,
saying.
Well, that's a pretty heavy.
I'm just
championship.
saying. So based upon the argument that you've thrown at me at least 5 times during this first round, he's got at least 12 or 13 championships.
Yeah, Mr. Perfect.
He's been Triple H. He's been the top guy of the company. I don't disagree with you. I prefer Hennig too, but
This
I'm
is an
just
excellent match
saying.
we saw in the ¡90s coming up.
Yeah.
So Steve wants to see this match. All right, so a bit controversial, but we'll continue on. We knew what this was. All right.
If I get Andre, Mr. Perfect, I'll take Mr. Perfect. I'll tell you right now.
All right, so we're on to Tyler's pick. Got number 26, Mankind, Mick Foley, versus number 39, Kane.
It's got to be Mankind. I have never read Kane's book. I don't even know if he has one. So it's
Kane
got to
did
be
just go
Mankind.
on-
I think he does have a book.
That's fine.
He's also
Okay.
a mayor. He's the mayor of Knox County.
Yeah.
Kane was cool, but
I would
he's
argue
not
he
really
was.
cool.
That's the county where the University of Tennessee is, though. So it can't.
Kane
be
was
that
only
good.
cool early.
Yeah.
Stuff later.
Anyone got any other feedback? It seems pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, no. Still got a game move.
For the record.
For the record.
All right, now we're on to BV. We got number 7, Bret the Hitman Hart versus number 58, Seth Rollins. BV, what do you
I
got?
feel like I keep getting these kind of easy ones.
BV's
No, Seth Rollins is good. I mean, and he's had a good career, but I mean, this isn't close. It's the Hitman.
It's the excellence of execution.
Make a case for Seth Rollins. So what do you got? I mean, like
He gets to
The,
bang
you
Becky
know,
Lynch.
no, the case, yeah,
Yeah.
the case, the case for
man.
A
Seth,
hot Irish redhead
Yeah,
gets to bang every night.
the case for Seth Rollins is
He
that
likes
Bret
Madden and
Hart.
video games.
Yeah.
Bret Hart's career got fucked going to WCW, and had he stayed in WWF the entire time, he probably would have won 5 or 6 more championships, Rollins is still pretty young.
He might still have 20 years in his career.
Yeah,
Seth
and
Rollins, so
Rollins has the potential to end up being like a double-digit champion, a world champion.
But I like how he justified Seth Rollins by giving more props to Bret Hart.
I'm just saying because I'm saying that his body of work's still great, but he was kind of stifled by that move because his whole career just basically went in the toilet after that. And Rollins has still got a lot more time, so maybe 15 years from now the argument's different, but right now I don't think there is one.
Oh, this next one's easy.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, Dave. This is a really barn burner.
What? This is a stunner and over.
Come on.
We got number 3 Stone Cold on top of all your guys' list. Where's 62 Kerry Von Erich?
Which Von Erich is this guy? Is this,
Warrior.
the tornado or the
Yes,
rooster?
This is
Tornado.
no. First of all,
Actually, oh
the
my
Red
God.
Rooster was Terry Taylor.
Oh, Terry. Okay.
Yeah.
Both Terrys, though.
Both Terrys. That's where I got mixed
Oh,
up.
shitty.
All right, so
So this
Dave,
is the
I
Texas
know-
tornado?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you
Well, I
make a
loved the
case-
Texas tornado. I loved him when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like he was cool. He ran to the ring. He was like. That's about all I can say.
Yeah.
So Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Interesting
Oh,
fact
man.
about Kerry Von Erich, he had one foot, and nobody knew about it for years.
Yeah, he had a
wooden foot.
Yeah, but what,
Wow.
yeah,
For
he had
years.
he had to
Well,
have
with
his,
that being said,
he had that before he came to WWF. He had to have a foot amputated, and he was using a prosthesis.
He had a shitload of brothers, and
And
they all ended up dead.
yeah. Another kind of odd fact. I'm not obviously trying to make a case for this guy, but he is.
I just like to hear
He,
both
he,
sides.
he is a former NWA champion. He did beat Ric Flair once for the title. He only held it for like 3 weeks, but he did win that title, and he held the World Class Championship on a number of
Charles'
occasions.
favorite wrestler. So.
So
This is going to Gabe.
Oh,
Gabe
Gabe.
has got the best picks.
I might have to. We'll see what happens. The veto might come out.
I guarantee you, we know what he's gonna pick.
Well, let's ask. Hold on.
Yeah.
Gotta make it official.
Even if he wasn't just playing "fuck you, BV," he would. Yeah,
All right, so let's work out this matchup
because he doesn't know who the fuck this guy is for starters.
I didn't know the fuck this guy. All right, we had number 30, Stan, the Laird Hansen.
The bad man from Borger. Go on.
Versus number 35, Jeff Hardy. A perennial. This is going to be a matchup for the ages. Gabe, who do you got in this matchup? Number 30-35. What do you got?
All right, so being completely analytical here, I don't know who the fuck the first person is. So Jeff Hardy for sure, based off that and that alone. And if that happens to piss BV off, more power to me.
Now, not that it matters, but are we talking about like the TLC originator Jeff Hardy, or the I was too high to frickin' show up sober to my fucking world championship match and Sting had to
BV,
frickin' squash
I know
me in
both
30
versions.
seconds?
They both win.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is anyone vetoing?
Yeah, anyone got any conversation we want to have? BV, you did have your top 10, but just give us some highlights for some of the younger crew who might not know the longevity of this, just Stan the Laird Hansen's career. Make a case for him real quick. Go ahead.
Just why they named like the Larry at the Ford after?
F-150.
You know what? Because to be completely honest, Steve will know like a third of it. He'll probably actually know it, and everybody else won't have the first fucking clue what I'm talking about. I'm not going to waste your time because you don't care.
Well, and here's the thing too. Just strategically, the next guy goes up against Stone Cold.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you want to waste a veto on
I
a
have-
guy who's going to lose?
I
in
have
the
no
next round?
illusions that Stan Hansen has any chance of going deep in this tournament,
Yeah.
regardless. And I'm not going to use it.
For the
but-
record, you just want to make sure everyone's aware that this man is a gem that a lot of people don't know
Oh,
about.
absolute
Just
gem. He knocked Vader's eyeball out of his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The eyeball
See,
quote.
and the thing is that the majority of his accolades in wrestling comes from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the like top American legends that that worked in Japan. He's also an AWA World Heavyweight Champion. He had a run at WWF towards the end of his career. The guy that came out with the kicking I swear, right,
That was perfect.
next time I'm in the same freaking proximity as you physically, I'm gonna hold you. I'm gonna top you. And I'm gonna fucking teabag you just to make a point. I'm gonna drop my Balzac right across that freaking forehead of yours.
You couldn't get back up.
Oh.
God.
All right.
All right, easy, gentlemen. All right.
Then I'll just stay on top of you until you fucking die.
That's just how serious
Goblin.
I know.
That's so funny.
Oh, I love it.
It's a clusterfuck.
All right, so we're going on to Steve's pick. Number 19, the Legend Killer Randy Orton, a newer guy everyone loves. Number 46, Diamond Dallas Page Yoga. What do you got, Steve?
DDP. A secret you may or may not know. I don't like DDP. A lot of people did. He had that weird kinky hair. He should have been a bouncer at a bar that just stayed there.
You did look like you were to the double deuce.
Yeah.
Well, he was a bouncer.
He was a bouncer.
Oh,
And his wife was hot, but they got
Kimberly
divorced.
was hot, yeah.
Yeah, and then he
think
tagged.
about all the weight he could make you lose, though, on the yoga program and
DDP.
everything.
Yeah, he did tag up with Carl Malone, the mailman, but the Legend Killer Randy Orton wins this one. He's got a lot
What
of
is your
titles.
love of Randy? A lot of people like him. At the
He's a
arcade.
more in shape and actually better DDP because his move comes out of nowhere just like the Diamond Cutter does. And he,
Although I'm pretty sure Diamond Cutter was first.
yeah, no, I know, but it just
But
Randy
it
Orton.
actually executes it better.
yeah. So I go with Randy Orton on this one.
It's a fantastic heel too. Like
Yeah.
when they just let him be a heel and be himself, it seems real. It seems like that's who that guy is. He's a dick,
he's
and
a
it's
prick.
good. Yeah, it's perfect.
All right, that was pretty. I thought. Okay, now here's someone that's been on a lot of lists. I think this is good. This would be my dark horse pick for someone going deep. All right, we got number 14. Seems low, but all right. Chris Jericho versus number 51, Christian Cage. This is Tyler's pick. What do you got, Tyler?
Chris Jericho. Christian, again, is another guy who, great talent, great guy, but he was always the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was, if Arn Anderson, sorry.
I know, and he was
Sorry to
the,
be
and he was the other guy to Edge.
Yeah, he was the other guy to
Oh
Edge.
my
Who
god.
already lost.
He was the Diet Coke of Edge.
So,
Can
it's gotta be Jericho.
But give some positive thoughts to Christian. What do you got there?
severely underrated, I think. I think if for how lauded Edge's career is, Christian should be like right underneath him because he's a little less charismatic and never really had like a gimmick that connected with people. I think like Edge did, but as far as in-ring work, underrated on the mic, and I hope that this little run that he has with AEW kind of shows that what he could have maybe have done had he been in a different position in WWE.
I can't believe WWE didn't like just give him a
Run with
contract
him.
right now. Why
Yeah.
not? Why not? If you're gonna push Edge like that, have Christian be around.
Yep.
It was. I think that was a mistake.
All right.
And no one's gonna veto that because everyone likes Chris
Yeah,
Jericho.
we know that you
But
guys.
that sets up Randy Orton versus Chris Jericho,
That's
and that's
like
very
Champion.
interesting.
All right, now we
Ooh,
go
that's
on
tough.
to BB. We know the answer to
This is a tough one.
All right, so
I don't know.
BB.
Bill might go
Going
the
to
opposite.
BB's pick, number 11.
Let's
the
put it this way.
Ultimate Warrior.
One of you fuckers
number...
are pulling out a veto. Go ahead. Go ahead with the matchup.
Put this up, BB. Number 11, the Ultimate Warrior versus number 54, Terry Funk. BB, I'm throwing it to
Yeah,
you.
I recognize the millennials on the show here aren't old enough to have seen any of it, but Terry Funk's one of the frickin' true icons of the sport. The Ultimate Warrior was a great character, had maybe a year or two run, fell off the face of the earth, got all fucking freaky, and I don't know if he died from fucking overuse of steroids or what the fuck it was that killed
Heart
him.
failure, yeah, from
Oh,
steroids.
there you go.
At
So,
about 54.
whoever wants to pull it out. It's Terry Funk all day and twice on Sunday.
Let me throw it to Gabe. Gabe, talk to me on this pick. What do you got? Any opinion on this one, Gabe? What do you got?
BB's out of his fucking mind.
then use the veto.
But like, I'm pretty sure Tyler's about to use a veto.
Feel free.
I mean,
Have
I'm
fun
not
with it.
going to do it because we know who I love, and I'm going to keep that in my back pocket. I don't love Warrior enough, but BB's fucking crazy.
A lot of strategy with the vetoes here.
Yeah.
Tyler, let me throw it to you. Got any conversation? Talk to me. What do you got?
BV, I respect your opinion.
No, you feel free
I
to bash me all
respect
you want.
your
You don't have to
opinion.
respect it. I mean,
You're
I appreciate
a very
that.
knowledgeable guy, and I think if you look at the the pro wrestling historians would love this pick that you've just made. It's a win for purity. But I gotta veto it! Oh, the first veto! I gotta veto it!
Fuck you, BB.
Terry Funk never main evented a WrestleMania. Terry Funk, I mean, he
did?
was more famous for being a deathmatch wrestler arguably. That was like when he really sort of made his mainstream appeal. Whereas the Ultimate Warrior, man, toys, like, it's gotta be.
And he had one championship run, and that was it.
How many did Terry Funk have? Not very many.
You just asked
Really?
the historian.
He didn't have that many, did he?
Oh,
He's held-
Gabe,
he's-
strap
he's-
in. We're about
he's
to have an
had-
argument.
I love it. I
At
hope
least
they actually
4 or
wrestle.
5 times.
4 or 5?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'll check it right now.
Don't fact check it. Don't fact check
right.
it. Don't
The
fact check it.
hardcore champion probably
He was
wants
also the ECW champion.
ECW
Now,
World
yeah, now,
Champion,
now,
which, I mean, that counts.
he
You
doesn't
just said
have
yourself
he
you don't like
doesn't he
ECW.
doesn't have as many as Dory Funk Jr. does.
Right, which is his older, less
Yeah.
talented brother.
Yes, but older, so he really did hold the championship, and there was only 5 guys in the
The
league.
first veto is gone. Tyler has used it.
Had to use it.
I'm sorry.
I do apologize.
I don't. I'm not like emotionally attached to it.
This next matchup is 2 Steve guys about to one going to eliminate the other one, and Bill gets
One's
to
going
pick
over the
it.
top rope early.
Oh, this sucks.
All right.
Who seeded this? Oh wait, I did.
We got number 22, Brock Lesnar. Oh, the Beast, Brock Lesnar. Let me give him the full.
Yeah, I did.
Are we
Versus
still
number
first round?
43, Big Van Vader.
Yeah, we're almost done, Gabe.
WrestleMania starts at 7.
Let's go. It's Dave's pick this
No, it's
round.
BV.
Oh, it's BV? I'm sorry.
no,
No, yeah.
He's a forced
Yeah,
title.
sorry,
representative. All right, Dave. Talk us through what you
Well, I have to go with the Beast, Brock Lesnar, for this one, which would probably piss a lot of people off. But I think his matches are really entertaining the way it goes with things. He's had some great matches with some littler guys in the more recent years. I think his match with AJ Styles was that Survivor Series that he did that, or was that Daniel Bryan at Survivor Series?
Daniel
Well, both
Bryan.
of those guys,
Yeah.
both of those matches with those littler guys, I thought were really good, and the way he Suplex City, bitch, like that's the coolest fucking thing. Like
It really was.
it's just over and over again without getting tired. I think it's pretty. And he ended the streak. Like I don't think you can argue.
make a case for Vader. What do you got for that?
which-
Me?
Yeah, you just.
No, I'm not. No, he wear that red thing on his face, which is cool.
Steve, talk him up.
Without Vader, there's no Brock Lesnar. First and foremost,
Really?
That's right.
He's the predecessor to
The
to
big
Brock
type of
Lesnar.
monster.
Okay.
Athletic, huge guy.
Dominated,
Beast is not out of
dominated
Yeah, but-
Japan pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Was in feuds with Gabe's favorite wrestler, Stan the Lariat Harrison.
Lost an eye out of it. But,
Yeah,
you know.
Great feuds with Sting in WCW over the title.
yeah.
He was kind enough to drop the belt to a black man in WCW back when that wasn't a cool thing to do.
Yep.
He had the King Harley Race as his manager.
Oh, jeez.
But I can't veto it. I'm
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead. And
Starcade '92 with Ric Flair. That was a great.
He also
Yeah.
was in a bad episode of
Boy Meets World.
yeah, or what? Yeah, that Boy Meets World. And what was the beach with the-
Baywatch.
Baywatch.
Well,
Get ready for me to show up right now.
in fairness,
right.
before we move on, in fairness, I think something that he kind of alluded to, but it gets understated. Brock Lesnar doesn't get enough credit for how good he is in the ring. He puts on a lot better matches than you would think
Well,
he
his
would.
$15 million contract says that.
Well, no, but well, that's just because he's an attraction. But he's particularly the matches with guys like Styles, and he does a very good job of making it believable. He sells a lot better than you think he would. He's always been a lot. He just gets credit for just throwing
Yeah.
people around in suplexes, but he's a really good worker.
The Randy Orton match too, where he made Randy bleed, was pretty awesome.
Oh, the hard way, yeah,
Yeah, that was great.
yeah. Those were.
I really rate you guys.
Yeah, no, he's. And I'm not a fan of
Game
it.
is over.
I don't really care. I don't care for him, but I think he should get a little bit more credit than I think he does get for what he brings to the table.
All right, so now we go to Gabe for this big pick. We got
And this is
number-
ironic that Gabe's getting
Isn't
this.
it though? Number 27, Dave Batista versus an incredibly overrated number 38, Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero. Gabe. Who do you got in that matchup?
Thank
Your
you,
pick.
Jesus, for giving me this one. Eddie Guerrero. Viva la raza.
Charles?
Well, hey, you know what?
I steal.
I'm glad you could gloss your boy while quoting Conan, but great.
What do you
Let me
justify
speak on
the
this.
pick?
Eddie
No?
said it.
Well, hold on. Let Gabe
Oh, did he?
talk us
Yeah,
through
okay.
the pick.
He
What do
stole
you
it.
got, Gabe?
Oh, he stole it. Okay.
Dude, Eddie Guerrero was fantastic. He was a great heel. He was super funny. The stuff that he would
Charles,
do
are
when
you fighting
he would
with
get
that girl
the,
monsoon
when he would get the
glasses?
chair and he would like smack somebody with it, or just act like he just threw it in and then lay down dead. That shit was hilarious. And then like Batista was He was good, but like again, he was more part of Evolution than his own individual runs. Like, he's just like your typical WWE Vince McMahon big guy that did like a couple power moves. He's like a shittier Roman Reigns. Like that's really all he was.
All right, you're out of your fucking mind. Ready? It's vetoed.
Are we gonna veto on veto crime?
Are you gonna veto him, Dan?
No, he can veto your veto.
He's gone.
Charles,
Anyone else want to veto mine? No.
You're only doing this because of Guardians of the Galaxy, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I'm doing it because Eddie Guerrero's terrible. All right, he's a bad
What?
porn stash.
Oh, okay.
I'm not into it.
I can't fucking believe I'm doing this because I would love to have vetoed this just to fuck with Gabe. But Batista is a fucking fraud as a wrestler, okay? He's a complete freaking... He was a complete freaking... another one of those freaking creations of marketing by whole giving him the push with Evolution and letting them kind of bring him along. He was another bodybuilder that they made wrestle. He was basically hot.
He's actually the shape of
he is a hell of a lot better actor than he was a wrestler. And yeah, first of all, Guerrero should not only be seated higher than him, but should beat him overall easily.
You can veto my veto.
No, I don't like either one of them that much. I'm just making the point.
Who's the next matchup with Eddie Guerrero if I do veto this?
He would go against the winner of the Heartbreak Kid and Sheamus.
Fucking use my veto. Fucking
Veto.
Okay, you realize he has no chance of beating Heartbreak Kid, right? No, I mean it's not even to fuck with you. So we've had our first case of veto on veto crime.
Yes.
And he crawls his way back into the ring.
Because if I come to that match, that's push.
I think since Charles' veto was crimed on, he should get his back.
No.
I was trying to help you out so you could fuck him in the next round.
No.
Like you,
I'm not
like
too
you,
worried
BB,
about
I'm
him
loyal
against
to the
HBK.
dude.
You're in your fucking mind. You guys go.
All right, I get the next one. Fine.
All right, so
Last match of the round.
All right, so let's go for our
The first round is over.
We made it.
It was as long as
hour
the
and a half.
NCAA tournament.
Wait, did we miss? Oh no, because we 32. That's
64. Now
there's
it's
5 of
32.
us. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there were 32 matches, but because there was 5 of us, not 4.
But we still have to do the first round of the women's too.
We're gonna do that.
Tag
We're gonna do that.
team.
Yeah, the tag team and.
All right, let me set this up for Steve. Here we got number 6, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels versus 59 Sheamus. I enjoy his YouTube videos. I don't know.
I do like Sheamus as a person. He's Irish. That's always good. Go Irish. But yeah, I mean, Shawn Michaels. Kidding me?
Can anyone make a Sheamus case? Looking around the room, Gabe.
Wait, case to
Who did
beat
Sheamus
Shawn
beat
Michaels?
to get into round? Oh, this is the last one of round 1. Never mind. I was like, who did he beat to get into round 2?
He does have 3 world championships.
Yeah, he does.
So
He beat Daniel Bryan for one of the championships.
Yeah.
In like
Now-
8 seconds.
Now, if this was a women's tournament, we could have the 6-seed Molly Holly versus the 11-seed Leilani Kai, which would be really interesting. But
Stop
All right, so we're moving on.
Round 2.
what are we like 3 hours in now? We're almost 2 hours in on the show. Did we start at 3 or?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, somewhere in there.
It is what it is.
All right.
This one's a hard one for Tyler.
All right, Steve's calling it a little tough.
It's not that hard. Somebody's gonna have to use a veto. Sorry.
Are you serious?
Oh!
Really?
Oh, man!
You've already used your veto too, right?
I used my veto.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
So here's
I'm not
the
even-
thing.
Hold on, let me go through the
Okay.
matchup. Hold on,
All right,
I know
all right.
you're at your job.
Hold on.
All right, so first game of round 2, we got number 1 seeded Ric Flair versus number 32 seeded the Great Muta. This is Tyler's pick. What do you got, Tyler?
Do it.
Dude, I love Muda too, but don't you blaspheme in here.
Here's the thing.
Do it. Stay true to yourself, Tyler.
I think that everybody always says how overrated guys are. And Ric Flair, to me, is one of the single
Shots fired!
most overrated.
Someone down 911.
Hit the big one.
He's one of the most overrated guys.
Oh, my
he
God.
He worked with so many talented guys. He worked with, if you look at Ric Flair's career, all of his best matches are against guys who are amazing, universally praised.
Oh, I'm sure
And
he
I
had nothing
feel
to
like-
do with that. Not at all.
Because how many great matches have you seen Ric Flair work with guys that weren't already good?
So you're saying he didn't
because
have
he
the
doesn't
ability
make
to
it.
take some mediocre talent and kind of bring him up to a level.
He couldn't do that. I won't say he couldn't do that because I've never seen it, but Bret Hart would do it. Like Bret Hart, there's that famous Tom McGee match that everybody says he made this guy look like a star so much that
He made Owen
Vince
Hart look
McMahon
way
thought.
better.
Like you hear stories about guys that just elevate people, and Ric Flair. I mean, he worked with so many talented guys. Great promos. Can't deny that. But he was a star in the NWA, and then when he went to WWF, he was like the fifth most popular guy. I'm going with the Great Muta because he's an absolute legend in Japan, and he still puts on great matches. And Ric Flair is doing Zoom videos.
Ric Flair's 137 years old right now. Muta's not that old.
Over 50, well over 50.
Ric Flair's like 75.
Yeah, and Eddie Guerrero's doing great matches in heaven right now.
I mean,
Ric Flair didn't wear face
Okay.
paint.
Now,
hold on. Let me let Tyler lock in your pick.
I'm locking in
Okay.
the Great Muta.
Wow.
Respectfully, I have to say that commentary about a top guy is a little bit odd coming from a Hulk Hogan mark, who has literally never put anyone over other than Ultimate Warrior once and The Rock once in his entire career. But
He
okay,
didn't lose to the Genius on Sunday Night's Main Event one time.
yeah, and that was that for a championship.
No, of course not.
Did his Uncle Lanny ever hold a world championship? I don't think
he
so.
lost to Rocky Balboa. So
Gold.
Yeah, there we go. He wasn't even. He was just Thunderlips at that point. Don't worry about it.
So
I'm fucking using the. I mean, really? And this hurts because I love Muta, but he's not fucking Flair, historically or otherwise.
I don't
Done.
know.
The vetoes are dropping.
we got. So
You know what? And I actually had to think about that for a second because I'm quite certain now someone will literally fuck Flair in a different kind of match just to fuck me.
So
But-
to do a veto check, Tyler, myself, Gabe, and BV have all jumped. We got Steve and Dave with active vetoes.
Ric
still
Flair
on the
cannot
line.
lose in the second round.
I'm waiting to hit it on CM.
So I have to ask, was that legit or was that strategic?
Oh no, that was legit.
Okay, all right.
I really.
He's got
I-
he brought it up.
I also love Great Muta.
just like
but,
my Mr. Perfect picked over Triple H.
Ric Flair wasn't on my
logic to
list.
okay.
My favorite Ric
That's
Flair
fair.
match is against Vader, and it's
And
because
every
Vader was
tournament
in.
needs good
Oh, wow.
upsets.
Okay.
And we just had one. All right, here we go. So let
This
me
is
go.
my pick.
What now?
Who just picked the? Oh,
I
no,
did.
BB.
No,
Steve wants in on this.
I'm confused. I lose track.
So we got number 48, Scott Hall,
Oh,
versus number 16, the American Dream's Dusty Rhodes, going to BV.
I have already said my piece on Scott Hall, so this is Dusty Rhodes, and I don't have anything else to say about it.
I'm not wasting a veto on fucking Scott Hall.
Dusty Rhodes all the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh, that puts Dusty Rhodes versus Ric Flair.
Dusty Rhodes is
That's
Which is
oddly-
a match.
Which
where
is-
We've seen 100.
Yeah.
I've seen it 100 times.
Yeah.
Are you guys shocked that Dusty Rhodes is going to make it to the third round? Does that seem...
No.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
If you look at the history of wrestling, Dusty Rhodes belongs. What is
For
that,
you and
round of
Gabe, it's a
16? shock.
For us four, not really.
The only real travesty there is that he had to go through Scott Hall and not Harley Race to get there.
All right. So moving on,
Oh, this
we're
one's
on
pretty
to
easy.
Dave's
This is
pick
actually a
here.
good one.
We got The Undertaker at number 9 versus number 41 seed Roddy Piper. What do you got, Dave? Talk us through your...
All right. So I talked about it earlier, just the ability to have a long career and to be able to kind of evolve with the business and really work through it makes me have to choose The Undertaker just from, starting in 1990 and still having a match, this past year. And just that he's been able to keep it up consistently and work with so many different people and do everything. It's just hands down Undertaker for me. I
got
have a
any-
lot of respect for Roddy Piper, but
Give us
it's
some
not a
good
challenge.
thoughts on the Piper.
Just his ability to be a smaller guy, to cut the promos he did, and to work the matches he did, and bring out so much. As
And
a heel
to
is
do-
fantastic.
And to do half blackface when he fought.
He did.
Or to
Did they
smash.
put a warning on the WWE?
Or
It's
to
weird,
smash
but
a
that's not
coconut
on,
over Jimmy
that's not
Snuka's
on
head.
Peacock.
Yeah.
I tried to watch it the other day, and it's
Yeah.
gone.
Did they leave? I wonder if they left the one where he hit the coconut over Snuka's head.
I don't know.
Yeah, that and perhaps that Piper in ring is hot garbage.
And the only knock on Undertaker is probably the last 2 or 3 years. He
Yeah.
probably should retire about
And
3 years
they were
ago.
still hit or miss. He still had some good ones in the past.
Piper's a great character and good on the mic, but yeah.
All right, we're rolling around to Gabe again. Here we
Oh,
go, Gabe.
we
You're
know
up.
who he's
We
taking
got
here.
number 40, the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase versus number 8, your father, Randy Macho Man Savage. What do you got, Gabe? Talk us through
I
it.
mean, look at this beautiful beard. That's where it comes from. And Ted DiBiase, I think he's shitty. I don't like the dude at all. So I know, like, not even a shadow of a doubt on planet fucking Earth would he ever touch Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh yeah, keep it moving, and don't say shit, BB. You know I'm right.
Can anyone talk? Is it possible?
WrestleMania 4, they had a tournament for the WWE Championship, and the finals was $1 Million Man versus Macho Man. Macho Man won. Hogan and Andre both got thrown out. They came down beating up each other and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So they've already actually wrestled, and Macho Man.
There's no argument to be made here.
Oh,
now we got Steve showing up on there with his pick. We got.
Get ready, Dave.
Number 4, John Cena versus number 36, CM Punk. Steve's picking the tournament. What do you got, Steve?
The only thing I hate about John Cena is he wrestled in jorts all the time. I mean, as the rapper, I got it, but once you turned into the superhero wrestler, could you put on wrestling tights? Why did it have to be fucking cut off? And gym shoes. It's like, Jesus Christ, get some wrestling boots and knee pads. Anyways, this is a hard one.
Really?
I do kind of like CM Punk.
Wow.
But John Cena had a much better career, so I'm going with John Cena.
I didn't think you liked Punk.
Well, I had my top 10 list. I had John Cena. I didn't have CM Punk, and I had a long, deep, emotional conversation with my wife this morning about CM Punk not being on my list. So I'm gonna have to let it go because John Cena is.
I thought he was going to pull it out.
No, I
You
just
two are the
don't-
ones that have it left, right?
Yeah, we got it left.
they're waiting
I
for
gotta
it.
hold on to it.
Yeah.
Wait till we see the Red Rooster versus
I would have
Hurricane
I
at
would have
the
liked
end.
to wait to the finals too, but wow.
All right. So we're going to lock in John Cena.
I didn't like the guy, but he had a long career, and he was main event shit ton of fucking stuff.
And I think he elevates people too. Like I think he does good work. He's a good guy.
All right. So now we've got. This is a little bit of a selfish choice for you, a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is a tough one.
All right, we got number 20, Bill Goldberg, versus number 13, Kurt Angle for Tyler. What do you got, Tyler?
Ooh,
So-
don't do this. Don't do this, dude. This could ruin our friendship.
Do the right thing.
So again,
Do the right thing.
little kid me would be going Goldberg all day, every day, but Kurt Angle, number 1, Olympic gold medalist.
You're going down.
I coach high school.
Correct.
He's got the 3 eyes.
Number 2, I mean, just some phenomenal matches. Chris Benoit, Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Oh, but there's a
Eddie
swerve. at the
Guerrero.
end.
Eddie
There's a swerve at the
Guerrero.
end, right?
Any matches that he did with the Edge and those guys. And then in TNA, had great matches with AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. You look at Goldberg, and he has great moments. But like, those moments happen in a very short period of time. Kurt Angle's been doing it for 20 years. Gotta go with Kurt Angle.
All right. Anyone gonna? Let me throw it to Gabe. Gabe, talk as me. What do you got to?
I'd rather not talk right now.
Gabe's emotional.
We might agree that those two would have the worst match right now. Though.
Right
Can you
now,
imagine?
yes, they would have a
Jesus.
terrible
Well, that
match.
match took place in 2003. That'd be all right.
Although he fucked me recently, I have to support him on this. The question that I would ask here, that in all seriousness, if you can set aside all the way it was built up and the character and the streak was awesome, has Bill Goldberg ever actually been in a single good match?
No.
What's
That's a
his-
very fair
What's
point.
his second match with Brock any good? I can't really remember. I like the first one was a squash. The second one wasn't even that good.
The second one was real quick, too.
Was it?
It was
Yeah.
like finisher after finisher on both of them. and one of them
If
won.
you're basically,
they were both out of
if
breath.
you're into basically both of them throw the kitchen sink in each other for 5 minutes and then
Yeah.
it's over.
Literally.
Then,
Okay, but for 2 guys that sat at a 9-hour WrestleMania, that's very much appreciated sometimes.
Oh, it has its place, yeah. But
Yeah, I mean, as far as spectacle, Goldberg's one of the greatest of all time. But
probably Goldberg's best match was when his streak ended to frickin' Nash. And that was not a particularly great match. But it was one of the few that actually lasted more than 2.5 minutes. So,
Nothing wrong with lasting only 2.5 minutes. Just saying.
You get a lot done in that time.
Yeah, that's almost a minute and a half longer.
All right, so now we are on to where are we at in the list? That was just
BB,
yep.
BB. We got number 12 Sting versus number 21 Roman Reigns. BB, talk us through.
Is he ahead
This
of
is
the
like the
table?
Achilles. This is
No,
everything
this-
BB
no,
Is he
this-
the tribal chief?
No, this is one of those things where Roman Reigns is maybe halfway done with his career. Sting is still borderline credible in his early 60s. And so his overall resume blows Reigns away. He's been better in pretty much all facets throughout his whole career. I think this is one of those things that's just based on just history and that alone. Sting has to win this.
Anyone make a case for Roman Reigns? Anyone making a case? Anyone?
Yeah, I'd make a case. He's way more entertaining than Sting over the past 30 years. Just because he's alive.
He's the
doesn't
worst.
mean Shit, whoop-de-doo.
Roman.
Yeah, what?
Roman Reigns.
Tyler's calling out your credibility game.
Yeah, what?
Dude, in the past, since we've been alive, Tyler.
He's
When
not
have you seen?
entertaining.
I should say since we've been alive. Since we've known each other, name one thing Sting's done has been great.
Oh my gosh! I mean, well, when did we meet? Let me go back to that. 2004.
Right.
I mean,
He's part of the Wolf.
but Sting was like 20 years into his career at that point.
So I'm just saying.
So you can't dismiss 20 years worth of a man's life just
DNA.
because we met in 2004.
Charles said make an
DNA?
argument. I just did. The past 17 years,
Hey.
non-existent.
Although in
That
fairness,
AEW match was fantastic as far as
in
like the
fairness, I
cinematic
think
wrestling
he
matches.
wrestles more often than Roman Reigns does right now.
And Roman Reigns spent 6 years of people just booing him when
Yeah,
nobody
and-
wanted to see him.
Agreed, but
That's
that's not his fault. One, he should have been a
It's
heel all
partly his
along.
fault.
Kinda.
And
Yeah.
their stable was pretty awesome because he was not booed while he was part of the stable. That
Yeah,
stable
and why was
Yeah.
that stable cool?
Because of the other
It
two
wasn't.
guys.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of Roman Reigns.
But they have tried to.
I don't know.
It was because
Roman
of
Reigns.
Dean
Oh,
Ambrose
okay.
and Seth
He was a good
Rollins.
third.
They
of that.
they shoved
Fucking
Roman
Dean
Reigns
Ambrose.
down America's throats
Johnny
for 5
Moxley,
years
too.
before they finally swallowed it.
He's just
Yep.
an in-shape Mick
The
Foley.
best thing that happened to Roman Reigns is that I shouldn't say that, but is that he got sick. So then now you have to cheer for him because now you're a jerk if you don't cheer for him.
Well, and they
Now.
And they
put him
finally
with
let
Paul
him go
Heyman.
heel.
Yeah.
Put him. I'll root for him all the time with Paul Heyman.
He's got
that
some.
WrestleMania match with Reigns and
He's got some
Lesnar
mic
that
skills.
Rollins stole the show, which I'll give credit for Rollins because that was a sweet ending. But that Reigns-Lesnar match, that was a pretty sweet WrestleMania match there.
Not any better than him beating Cena. Lesnar beating Cena at SummerSlam before that, or no?
Name a
Drew Rules.
high-quality Sting
I
match.
ain't gonna take a lead.
High quality Sting match. Sting versus Vader, Great American Bash. Sting versus Vader, strap match. Sting versus Ric Flair, King of Cable tournament. Sting versus anybody. Jeez.
Since 1995.
I can't believe we're arguing that Roman Reigns could be better than Sting.
Yeah.
This is silly.
Not arguing, it's a fact.
Not arguing. It's fact.
Are we on a temporary break here?
So what's the next matchup?
Next matchup: Booker T versus The Rock.
It's good for me that you guys are here
Why?
because otherwise I'd just be getting freaking rapid fire barrage and getting pissed on about everything. That's out of my mouth.
I mean,
Oh my
we
God.
could probably do this one for Charles, right? It's Booker
Yeah.
T versus The Rock.
Yeah,
Well,
so Dave, who do you like?
Who picked? Oh yeah.
Oh, this is my pick.
Yeah.
The Rock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There's no contest. It's everything about.
Can you make a case for Booker T?
Can I make? He does a better weird dance move in the middle of the ring than The Rock does.
He had one of the best skits ever in that grocery
Yeah,
store.
yeah. I think like a lot of his humorous stuff is good, but Rock's humorous stuff is better.
Yep.
So if that's what we're gonna break upon,
Does he get
that
bonus
doesn't-
points for the song that Bad Bunny sang about?
No,
No.
he loses points for that.
Yeah.
He's got the best scissor kick that hits the guy with the back of his knee anyone I've ever seen.
Right.
Go back to the Harlem
Yeah.
Heat days.
Oh yeah.
We did the next
Yeah.
pick, Charles.
Stevie Ray,
Dave picked the Rock.
Underrated.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was an easy one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was an easy one.
Wasn't too hard to do.
Too much Mountain Dew Zero. My eyeballs are floating. All right. So who was that? That was your pick, BB?
Yeah.
No,
Nope.
it's his.
Dave.
Dave.
Okay.
Now it's Gabe.
All right. So now we're on to Gabe. Let's go. We got number 2, Hulk Hogan. It is an 80s matchup here. Number 2, Hulk Hogan versus number 34, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Gabe, what do you got? Talk about your.
Hey, can we do this? Can we pass this one to Tyler and then him pass his back to me? Because I think he needs to do this one justice. Because I don't give a fuck about either of these two guys.
No, that's not how it works.
Wow.
So go ahead.
You got to talk us through. What do you got?
Both before my time, before I cared at all. Never even watched Steamboat whatsoever. Hogan's a piece of shit too. I have to watch Tyler wear a Hogan headband for the past 20 years of my life everywhere we go. Out of pure spite, Dragon sounds cooler, so let's go Ricky Steamboat Dragon.
You don't have a veto either.
Oh my!
Remember when
Wow.
I wasted my veto on Ric Flair to make you happy. And when you do this to me, and you do this to me,
I told you not to take your
and you do this to me, I will remember this for the rest of our lives.
Alright, I'm kidding. It's Hogan for sure.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you. Wow, bitch card played.
Tyler tugged my heart.
He went as Hulk Hogan for Halloween one year, NWO Hogan. If he picks, he doesn't even know barely Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
That is true, and NWO Hogan was way better. Yeah, give me that.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, my side hurts now. All right, here we go. All right, we're back around to Steve. Steve is going to talk about how good AJ Styles is. Number 47, Rick Rude. Number 15, AJ Styles. Tell me how I should love AJ Styles. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, everyone in the room and Gabe have seen a good AJ Styles match, but you. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't have the love of Rick Rude that Bill does, even though I do appreciate the stash and the top selling look he had in the 80s. AJ Styles.
Anything to add, BV? I know you got much love for Rick Rude.
I do. This is a fair pick.
No one's gonna.
I would have went Rick Rude as well, but
I think it's close.
yeah, it's definitely.
I can't. I would.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's one
I
of
don't.
those things that it's bad
No,
seating at that point.
No,
Is
yeah,
that what
I
it
don't
is?
have a. Yeah, I can't really argue that it was a dumb move or anything. So.
Oh, now Steve lost his. This is
No.
Steve head.
Oh.
They won't even look
Head
at
to
you.
head with a veto.
Won't
in his
even look
pocket.
at you.
Don't forget. All right.
He does.
Depends on who he picks.
Well,
I can't really
so
argue.
we got
with that.
Tyler pick. We got number 10, Andre the Giant. Gabe doesn't care who he is and what he's about. There's number 42, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
Never heard of
him. Throwing it over to Tyler. What do you got?
I mean, Mr. Perfect's absolutely amazing. He's a great character, great wrestler, all that stuff. Great vignettes. But, I mean, if you're going to make, like, a history book about pro wrestling, Andre the Giant's, like, gotta be a whole chapter. He's one of the first wrestlers to make $1 million. He was in The Princess Bride. It's gotta be Andre the
He was in
Giant.
Honeycomb commercials.
Does
What?
Mr. Perfect? Does Mr. Perfect have an HBO documentary about him?
No, he does not.
Maybe he should, but he
Yeah.
doesn't.
He was in the Incredible Hulk TV show as Sasquatch.
Andre the Giant
So
can
all I
drink
want
like-
you to do, Steve, is just talk how you could think that Mr. Perfect could beat Andre. Just talk us through that.
First off, if it was a real match, it'd be terrible. Because Andre wouldn't do a move and Mr. Perfect couldn't do a move to him. So it would be a lot of headbutts and chops. So that's going to be terrible. Mr. Perfect had some great runs. I loved his SummerSlam matches with Bret Hart. They were fucking gold. I can't justify it, so Andre the Giant, I agree with Tyler. I feel very depressed.
As I said, you seem defeated.
I thought for sure you were pulling the veto out there. But
Mr. Perfect's great, though. Definitely worthy of the round of 32.
Yeah.
All right, now we're throwing it back to BB on this second round here. We got
No, didn't I? Who picked? Oh,
I
yeah,
just
yeah,
picked
yeah.
him.
I keep losing track.
yeah, Steve is all
Because we've been
over.
in here for 37 hours.
All right.
My
What day
phone's
is
about
it?
to die.
BB, Gabe's gonna plug his phone in. Here we go. All right, so we got number 26, Mankind Mick Foley versus number 7, Bret the Hitman Hart. Throwing it over to BB for that pick. What do you got?
yeah, no, I don't have anything against Mick Foley. I don't have quite the same love that these guys have for him. But this is one of those things where you just got a really good historical professional wrestler running into a great professional wrestler. So, and I've never really been that big of a Bret Hart fan either, but
It's hard for you to say different.
it's hard for me to make the case to take Foley over Hart, particularly since I don't have like a major love for either one. It's got to be, I think, Bret Hart.
Dave, can you make a case for Mankind? Just give it.
No, I think like it's just kind of like what he was saying. He's a great professional wrestler because of who he is, his personality, and what he was willing to put his body through. But you can't argue against Bret Hart's technical abilities and just what he was able to do in his career. So
That's definitely a battle of taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your
Hardcore
brand of
matches
wrestling? What's
versus
your
technical
flavor?
wrestling.
Yeah.
What's
And
your
I don't
favorite
want to
flavor?
go back and watch all of Bret Hart's matches, but I do. I mean, I want to watch some of them, but still,
Yeah,
I'm
that
not going
was-
to deny it.
Total historical pick
Yeah.
on my. As far as like overall breadth of career, it's not like priced on preference because I don't prefer either one of them.
All right, so then we go around. This is Dave's pick here. Dave's got a bit of a T-ball here. We got Stone Cold at number 3 versus number 35 Jeff Hardy. Make the case, Dave. Go for it.
Who could he have been against? Who was Jeff Hardy against?
Could have been the Batman from
Lariat
Border.
Hansen.
Oh, I guess I would have picked Stone Cold no matter. Yeah, Stone Cold was just such a huge part of my, high school experience and that
Ooh,
whole
Gabe's got a
wrestling.
good one.
Yeah, so like Stone Cold all the way. I can't deny it.
Mhm.
Badass.
I can't even
Yeah.
throw it to anyone to make a case.
Yeah.
for Jeff
Yeah.
Hardy.
No one's gonna argue that.
Yeah.
Drunk, high, sober, doesn't
I just
matter.
want to like crack beers open and pour them on
Absolutely.
myself. Like
Yeah.
Gabe's got the match of the tournament right
All
here.
right, here
I
we
will say
go.
this much though, Hansen might have crippled him for real, and then
Yeah.
you'd get no more Stone, and then we'd have to hate him just because he ruined one of the best wrestlers of all time. But
All right, Gabe. Here you go. Now this is your time frame and everything. We got number 19, the Legend Killer Randy Orton versus number 14 Chris Jericho. Gabe, it's
Oh.
your pick.
Oh.
What do you got, Gabe?
I like
Talk
when
us
you
through
can't
your
see the tournament.
dilemma.
So both of these guys are on my top 10 list. This is rough for me. Randy Orton, man, he's fantastic as a heel. He's pretty bad as a face. Chris Jericho is going to be my winner because he is comedic gold.
I thought. you
All
were gonna
right,
pick Randy
even
Orton.
if it's just the one thing where it's like the list that he had for X amount of months was gold, and then whatever he does, the Y2J. And one of my favorite things I always talk about Tyler with his heel stuff was when he wore the championship belt while he wrestled, and then got like drop kicked with it. That shit was hilarious. So for sure, Chris Jericho. Even though I love Randy Orton, and they should both be in the final 4.
Just one of those tough picks. Anyone want to make
Tough
a case
picks.
for Randy Orton? Are you either way that either one he would have been wrong?
Randy Orton, man, those RKOs out of nowhere and the memes that come with it are fantastic.
You can
So,
make,
like,
yeah, you
I
can
do
make
like a
the
good
case.
meme.
Yeah, we know you
Yeah,
do.
you can make the case easy. I'm not saying you should have won, but you can make the case.
That's
He's
just-
got like what 10, 12 championships, world championships, plus a bunch of others.
just one of those bad
He's
lineups.
about as if we were living back in a time where they didn't just admit to the world that it's all staged. He could make people believe. Like he could have got like the old school heat from people where like they wanted to riot and frickin' he'd have to get rushed out the back to keep from having fools trying to shiv him in the parking lot. Like he is a legitimate old
Yeah,
school
he's
type
good.
professional wrestler. Like you believe his gimmick and he does the shit like what I would say like the right way. Like you could tell he's a third generation guy. And I think other than the fact that Jericho's got a little bit extra in the charisma standpoint, I think one, you could argue that Orton's had a more complete career, certainly as far as championships are concerned. But Jericho's more entertaining, and
Yes.
I think they're pretty close in ring and all that kind of stuff. But I think you can make the argument for either one of it, and it'd be good.
All right, now here comes Tyler's. Had to veto to bring him along. This is gonna be a problem for Tyler. We got number 11, the Ultimate Warrior.
pick is
versus-
it?
It's yours.
Oh,
Versus number 22, the Beast Brock Lesnar. Steve has a big affinity towards.
And none of you guys have vetoes but Dave, and I don't think Dave loves the Warrior as much as everyone else. The Beast Brock Lesnar beats his
I was
ass.
like, is this really even a question?
No.
I mean, seriously.
F5 over.
He would beat him in this argument. He'd beat him in real life, and he'd frickin' fuck this dude's wife when he was done. he would fucking prison fuck him. He would prison fuck Warrior's wife and Sable at the same time. He'd fuck one and fist the other. Oh my god, dude! Warrior wouldn't last 30 seconds in a real fight with Brock Lesnar. In fact, I'm not sure anyone on this entire fucking list would last 30 seconds in a real fight
What
with Brock
about
Lesnar.
Scandal Larry Hansen?
No.
No.
eyeball.
First of all, Hansen couldn't see him
What
to
about
hit
Kurt
him.
Angle?
And then-
Kurt Angle would.
In a wrestling match, yeah.
He
What?
In a straight up fight, I don't know.
He'd last more than 30 seconds.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
it looks like Tyler was the first to really squander that veto along with me. I got bounced out of the event.
Yeah,
So
I-
I feel you, Tyler. We got screwed.
Dude.
We're going to move Brock Lesnar
There's-
on. The Warriors taking some slack. Some flack. All right, now we go to Tyler. We've got Number 38.
Charles.
Oh.
Eddie Guerrero versus number 6.
Tyler.
The Heartbreak
Oh
Kid.
my God! What?
Shawn Michaels. Throwing it to Tyler. What do you got, Tyler?
I mean,
Remember
I'm
what I
not-
did for you.
can you do this with a straight face?
100% I can, because here's the thing. I've never been a Shawn Michaels fan.
I don't like him either,
Ever
but
in my life. Shawn Michaels is the guy that is like, all of the new guys look to Shawn Michaels and they're like, that's who I wish that I was. And I respect that. But I always was like, I want to see the characters. And anybody who says that Eddie Guerrero isn't better in the ring than Shawn Michaels, I think that's a disingenuous argument. Eddie Guerrero is absolutely phenomenal.
We'll agree to disagree.
he's damn good in the ring.
Absolutely amazing. Watch his matches with Dean Malenko in WCW, anything he did with Rey Mysterio. And then in WWF, JBL, that blood-soaked massacre that he did. The only knock on him is that Shawn Michaels was putting on great matches as an old man with Jericho, with The Undertaker. But I'm going to go with Eddie Guerrero because I liked him better.
Veto
I thought
well-spent
every
fucking
category.
I think it might be like an age thing or something
Yeah.
like that. Man.
I will not veto that because I hate Shawn Michaels' main move.
Talking to Dave.
No,
Talking to
I'm
Dave.
good. I'm good. I've got a very specific
That is
thing that I know
already
that
looked
needs to
at it.
happen.
that is
so-
a really big upset, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Guerrero was great in the ring.
Every
There's
tournament
no
needs an
question.
upset.
That brings up 38 over a 6 seed right there.
Well, I think that's like a battle of people.
They're like the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Like the Seth Rollins and those kind of guys, they look to Shawn Michaels as like, okay, this is who I wanted to be. But then the younger kids now are looking at Eddie Guerrero as almost the same way.
Okay, did Guerrero ever draw money?
Did Shawn Michaels?
Yeah.
He was the champion in an era when nobody was drawing money.
He drew a lot more money than Eddie Guerrero did.
I don't know if that's true.
That wrestling
Okay.
term, draw that money, baby. Draw that money. All right. Here we go.
Oh, this is a BV matchup.
So,
Is this, am I the one?
yeah.
Am I the one picking it?
yeah,
Yeah.
you're the one picking.
Oh, good. Thank you. I don't have to get fucked just yet. All right. So
Number 1, Ric Flair versus number 6, the American Dream, or 16 rather, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, throwing it to BB.
see, so little history
BB, you
lesson.
used your veto
Yeah.
to bring him along.
Yeah,
We had some issues.
little history lesson here, right?
I can't use the veto because I hate Dusty
So
Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes was he's a 3-time NWA World Champion. However, you know what? I don't snore all the fuck you want. However, he only took the title from Flair once. He was always the top friggin' face chasing it for the majority of the 80s. He'd always fall a little short. The Horsemen were always there. They break his leg. They do whatever. First of all, Dusty Rhodes has got to be in the top 3 or 5, maybe at worst, as promos of all time. He's frickin' about as good on a mic as you'll ever see. But yeah,
I think of his forehead was all scarred
Yeah.
up.
well,
God,
yeah,
his
that's
forehead
because
was
they all
gnarly.
bladed and
Oh,
shit
I
a
know,
lot
it
back
was
then.
gnarly. I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, I got to go with Flair, but Rhodes is not insignificant here. I think he deserves to be where he is.
No one's going to argue because no one gives a shit about Dusty Rhodes. Next!
Dusty
Yeah.
Rhodes.
Oh, I should
But
just also to give you from the thing before. I'm pretty sure I'm the only person in this room that gives any respect to Dean Malenko at all.
Oh, okay.
So when you say that, most people are like, "Fuck that piece of shit."
Oh, this is a good one for
This
Dave.
is a good one from Dave. Dave finally got some good action. We got
Oh,
number
yeah.
9 versus number 8 seed. We got the
Look
at
Undertaker
Gabe.
number 9
Oh,
versus number 8 Randy Macho Man Savage.
Dude, if he fucks
Throwing
this
it
up,
to
I will
Dave
kill him.
Havenside. Your pick, Dave.
Okay.
Yours
God,
to go.
All right, so I have to give a little bit of caveat first. I actually have to leave in like 20 minutes or 25 minutes.
for it.
Oh.
I will be ducking out, so if I have to sneak off, I just want to let you know that's what's up. But
okay.
I might have to throw my veto to somebody.
Don't
But
give it the bill.
I'm actually going to go with The Undertaker.
Oh yes!
Who invited this fucker? Second of all, are you on drugs right now?
Go
I
ahead, Dave. Make
Oh
your case.
yeah!
do with the longevity of career I'm going with again, the ability to adapt to styles, because I think there were some weird things the Undertaker did, but there was some truly terrible stuff that Macho Man did later on in the WCW that just didn't
You ain't
work.
lying.
And I think that Undertaker kind of stayed relevant for those full 30 years, really. A lot
Okay,
better.
relevant for like 20 years means nothing to incredible heights that Macho Man achieved over Undertaker.
Were they?
The streak, I mean, that WrestleMania streak is top 5 things of all pro wrestling
Gabe's
time.
dad
of all
is
time.
out.
Oh wow! Mach's problem is that he went
Just-
he
you-
went
you don't
Scott
have to go
Steiner and
20
got
minutes,
too
you can
blew
go
up
now.
and
Yeah.
couldn't do shit.
He said you're gonna wait 20 minutes. You can go now.
Wow. All right. So
I respect that you had the cojones to make that call.
Yeah, that was a
Veto
big,
I like
man
it.
bold move.
All right, now we're back to you, Gabe. And we got number
He just
4,
fucking care
John
anymore. He's like-
Cena.
I
There's
don't give a
number
fuck
13, Kurt Angle. It's Gabe Wiggins.
I'm surprised he didn't hang up already. Like, fuck this tournament.
It's about to happen for sure. But fuck it. What are my picks?
Oh, he's all discombobulated right now. You got number 4, John Cena. Number 13, Kurt Angle. Go for it.
Cena. I don't want to talk. Cena.
I'm not using a veto.
I'm gonna throw it. Okay, Steve. Yeah, no veto. Dave, you got that? Burning a hole. You want to?
No, it's good. I'm
All
good with
right.
that.
You really do have a
Make the case
strategic
for
match,
Angle over
don't you?
Cena,
Okay.
Can you at
Yeah.
all?
I mean, more talented in the ring, but it's hard to say that Cena wasn't.
He drew money.
Yeah, he was more. And then
drew
he
Well,
drew money.
and he
He
had
drew a
and he
ton of
had
money.
championship after. I mean,
Yeah.
he's what 16 now? Yeah.
I mean, he's the closest you're going to get to a Hulk Hogan.
he carried a company for like a decade. So
All right, now we're back around to Steve. Steve's gonna pull number 12, Sting, versus number 5, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, the People's President. What do you got?
This is where 30-year career Sting hits the road. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson wins us easily. Not Sting, you jackass. The other one.
Wrong click.
do the right thing.
And
Do the right thing.
I mean, Sting was okay, but I enjoyed The Rock and the Nation of Domination stuff way better than anything Sting did.
Talking to BB, make a case for the Sting over the
Well,
Rock.
this
Go
is
for it.
well. I mean, okay. So The Rock has become a pop culture icon at this point. But this, if you're looking at it objectively, this is a very, very successful long career versus a really, really bright shining star for a handful of years and then walking away and doing other things. The thing is, though, is the same thing with the Austin piece, right? Austin was around for a long time, but he was fucking off the charts for like a 4 or 5 year period. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to argue. Although I would say though that you can make a case for Sting, but since no one else cares about career history other than me, I'm not going to try to do that. But I would have picked The Rock too, but it would have been a lot closer than I think most people would think it is to be.
All right, now we're moving on to Tyler's pick.
Oh.
He's got
Oh, of course, he gets the Hogan pick.
number 2, Hulk Hogan, versus number
damn it.
15, AJ Styles, the most underrated wrestler according to you guys. Tyler, make a case. Go for it.
There's no like. It's got to be Hulk Hogan. AJ Styles, although very talented, it's just not even close. I mean, he can do springboards and he can do backflips, but Hulk Hogan can capture the hearts of a nation. AJ Styles
This
can't.
veto strategy, is it to bounce Hogan?
No,
Okay, all right. Let's ask you.
All right. We're moving along. Now we got some speed. All right. Here we go. We got number 10. This is BV's pick. We got number 10, Andre the Giant, versus number 7, Bret the Hitman Hart. This is a little bit of a tough one, I would argue. Go ahead, BV.
Yeah, I think it is a tough one. This is kind of what you want, right? I mean, Andre never really held championships, but he's one of the biggest freaking stars in the history of the sport. This is tough. I don't know what to pick.
You about to cry?
Let him have his moment, Gabe.
No, and I'm not. I have to admit, I'm
All
not.
choked up. over
I've never been
Andre.
a. No, I'm just like no. I'm vexed here. I'm not just. I'm not emotionally attached to either one. I've never been a real big.
They look like it.
I've never been an Andre fan either. Really, I mean, he's all right, but I think I'm going to go with impact on the sport overall. I'm going to take Andre. A very, very close.
Bret
But
the Hitman Hart. Probably
Yeah.
one of the tougher ones we think is if we're on the room. You guys have.
Veto!
Didn't you pick Andre? Wasn't he on your list?
Doesn't matter. Bret Hart's better.
Wow.
okay, I
Holy
mean, yeah.
smokes.
Justify. Go ahead and talk us through what your thought was.
Because
Go
I have
for
a
it.
veto.
And I like Bret the Hitman Hart's a better technical wrestler all around, and Andre was falling apart.
Everybody was a better technical wrestler than I.
Yeah. And I
Well, I mean,
understand
except for
those
Hogan.
rules, but I just like Bret Hart better. At least
Best
in
there
this
is,
in
best
that
there
fight.
was, best there ever will be.
Wow, that's right.
There, my veto's gone. Now we're up to just Dave.
All right,
We
now
got
we're
it.
around. We're back around to Dave.
Oh, now I can play.
Oh.
It's just Dave with that veto burning a hole. He's got number 3 though. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus number 14 Chris Jericho. This is a rock. According to you guys, love him, but go for it, Dave. What do you
I am choosing Chris Jericho right here.
And no one's got veto.
Because
That's what you held it for?
no, I still have my veto.
But that's what you were holding.
No,
was that
I
what you
wasn't
were-
actually holding it for this one.
Wow.
I just get to do this.
Yeah.
I thought for sure Austin was winning the whole fucking
Had
thing.
to.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
so it has to do a little bit.
Upsets.
This is my argument here. Is that burst that Stone Cold had, of course, was astronomical, but that longevity of career and the way that Chris Jericho has been able to just change and morph into what he needed to be, whether it was in WCW or showing up with the countdown in WWE or going to Japan and doing what he did, or just everywhere he's been able to do, he's been able to make magic happen with not the body size, not everything.
So what you're telling me is you'd rather have Adrian Peterson for 20 years than Barry Sanders for 10.
Yeah.
Probably.
Since you put it that way, yeah.
Backfired.
What do you guys got any input?
I mean, Stone Cold, if you're making a Mount Rushmore of wrestling, Stone Cold's on it.
No.
And Chris Jericho is maybe on it.
Uh,
But he made all those points he made about Jericho, 100% true. But
all right.
Stone Cold, man.
Let me throw out one thing, and this is more of a question, although I do think the answer is yes. Do you think if Stone Cold Steve Austin, in his early to mid 50s, if he came back, whether it be WWE or AEW right now, would he be a bigger star than Chris Jericho?
100%.
Answer is
Yes.
He would take Jericho's spot like that
Yeah, for sure.
because he had a short run with a hot spot.
But he would have the shittiest.
But he
matches
hasn't
ever.
been. He hasn't been in the ring.
Jericho's
But he
matches
hasn't.
are
He
good.
hasn't
held
been.
together through
He
mental
hasn't. But he
science,
hasn't been in the ring in what, 15 years? I mean, for
Oh,
a
God
real
damn it, let's
match.
just save my veto.
And yeah,
Yeah, you
I
should have.
mean-
You blew it.
So my thing was I see the arguments for Jericho. The thing with Austin and why I thought he was going to win this whole thing, he's transcended wrestling.
Yeah.
He's great. No argument for me. All right, this is crazy. This
This
is the whole
guy's
bottom half of this
crazy.
tournament.
That
You
was
vetoed him in the first round, and he's still here.
that was a very interesting
All right,
twist there.
Unfortunately, this is Gabe's pick. We got number 22, Brock
No,
Lesnar.
wait, pause. Just give me somebody that guy likes so I can pick the wrong one.
Brock Lesnar versus number 38, Latino Eddie Guerrero, who was vetoed upon vetoed and back around. Gabe, it is your pick. Go for it.
You know what? This is redemption, finally. Eddie Guerrero continues to advance. Absolutely.
Talk us
I'm
through
already-
justify one over the other, I guess is what I'm saying.
I mean, what more do I have to say about Eddie Guerrero?
Well,
man? He's fantastic.
Then
God.
use your ability to put him over the top of Lesnar more than
Okay, so Lesnar is great. He is an attraction, but okay, over the past 10 years, he's really only wrestling like once every 3 months, once every 4 months, and that's in his prime. And again, most of his matches are the exact same. The best that he does is the Suplex City, where he's seen that did that to Cena 30 times. But for the most part, most of his matches are pretty identical. Like it's not like they do very much or stray very much from the norm. So, and he's just not like he can't talk. If he doesn't have Paul Heyman, if he doesn't have somebody like that with him, he's nothing.
That's a valid
Like he would be like every other big guy in the WWE, and he would have burned out years ago. But he has Paul Heyman, who's obviously amazing on the mic. Eddie Guerrero can do all of that. He's just not the body and the physical
Tyler's
force.
a
that
great-
Brock has.
He wasn't.
well. Let me.
He wasn't a world beater on the mic though.
Let me throw
but
it to
he's good.
Dave, the only person possessing a veto who can write this crazy shit. Dave, talk us. What do
Dave
you
has
think?
someone else in mind. We don't know who it is.
I can't quite use it yet.
No!
That was a close
I'll say
one.
the
If
love,
Dave used that veto on Eddie, I would have punched
the
him.
love on Eddie Guerrero's gone too far. Too far.
I unfortunately, I got to update this and lock that in.
Yep.
So here we go.
Can we at least agree that Brock Lesnar has in fact drawn money?
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Where Mr.
bucks.
Michaels may or may not have.
So now I'm up.
Now we're on
Wow.
the
So
fourth
let me
round.
get this straight. So we are just in a tournament where Eddie Guerrero has in
Elite
sequence not just Elite Eight, he has beaten Shawn Michaels and Brock Lesnar to do it.
I tried to correct you,
Oh
asshole.
my God, dude!
It's crazy. The Guerrero love is out of control. All right, here we go.
If I didn't have to protect the nature
This
board, I
goes
would have
around-
used it right there.
This goes around to Steve. We got number 1 Ric Flair
Oh.
versus number 9 Undertaker. Steve, talk us through who you think and what do you got?
We know who you're picking. Just do it.
Undertaker has a lot of bad WrestleMania matches prior to when he started wrestling Shawn Michaels. A lot of people forget that. There was a match versus Big Boss Man, Kamala, Jimmy Snuka. All
El Gigante.
terrible.
Yep.
Yeah, El Gigante. And then there's also the stretch of Undertaker the last 3 or 4 years that just, and I'm sorry, whichever one of you fucks likes that live action wrestling match last year.
Hot garbage.
That was dog
Hot
shit.
garbage.
Total dog shit again against AJ Styles, of course. And Ric Flair was great right up until his retirement match for Shawn Michaels.
What time was this retirement? Just
And then-
2009 or something.
okay.
And then
And then he ruined his legacy by coming back over and over again. But I'm gonna go with Ric Flair.
And there is my veto.
Oh!
Ouch!
I cannot participate in a tournament where Ric Flair wins.
Oh my,
Oh!
oh my God,
I did not see
I
that
just-
coming.
That's where it is.
I'm
did
just-
not.
Wow.
I'm
So
not.
as,
oh my.
as you were talking about Ric Flair, most overrated wrestler, I just had to stick here like this.
Really?
Hold my cards.
I'm gonna say this right now. Every last one of you motherfuckers are fucking glad I'm not carrying right now. I would pop a cap in your ass right now. Oh my fucking.
Vicious on him, VP. Just do it. Just do
Oh
it.
my fucking.
Wow.
That's
Something
veto.
in my mind when I left Illinois yesterday was like, you should probably just carry just in case, but didn't do it. Oh, this is a fucking.
Undertaker.
This is an abomination.
Well, let Dave justify that use of the veto. Go
That
for it.
stupid ass streak is what he's gonna say. That is
No.
And I
And
just
it's
said
just-
half that streak sucked.
Yeah.
Purely fan based for me watching Ric Flair versus Undertaker. I'm going to choose Undertaker hands down every time. If you say you got to watch a match, what are you going to watch? It's going to be an Undertaker
Like a
match
current
instead.
one or like in their
No,
heyday?
just if you have to say, hey, you get to pick who do you want to watch wrestle right now? I'm picking Undertaker.
Yeah.
That's where
That's
it is.
what makes
That's
this
where it
tournament
comes
so
from for me.
great, Charles. You just don't know what's going to happen.
People still woo to this day, you dumb fuck. God, what is wrong with this guy?
Such an evil little box up there.
All right. So
Oh.
now,
This is the ultimate Tyler matchup.
who
this
are
is-
we on? I don't even know.
I picked Ric Flair, so it's his.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's-
Tyler it
this is
is. All right,
atrocious.
here we go. Number 4, John Cena. BB got gutted. Number 4, John Cena. Versus number 5, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Who you got, Tyler? It's probably not as cut and dry.
It's
as
not.
Yeah.
It's a very tough one.
Seeds.
I think John Cena is on his way to being The Rock light as far as being like a pop
As in
culture
light
I
icon.
skin?
hate his hair.
Well, no, like,
I don't know why'd you say it there.
like the diet Rock.
Oh,
I
okay.
should have said that. Because he's super funny, super charismatic, but like The Rock is the prototype of just a wrestler being successful outside of wrestling. He's too charismatic, and I got to pick The Rock.
Anyone gonna make a case for Cena?
Well, it doesn't matter. No one has any vetoes.
I'm still
I know,
butthurt
you
over
just-
this last match.
He's as hurt as Gabe was over Macho Man.
Well,
Regardless
you
of
get
that-
to redeem yourself here in this next matchup.
Okay.
No, well,
Can
that's not the
anyone
one I
make a
want.
case, though, for the Cena thing? It's
I can
probably
make a
some-
case that if I happen to fall in an Undertaker match, I don't care if he's up against Doink the Clown, he's losing this shit. I think you can make a case, but I think they're close enough in overall career. So it's almost that longevity versus the hot run, but I think they're close enough in overall achievements that you can make it go either way. So I don't have a problem with The Rock, and people just like The Rock more than they like Cena. So
Yeah.
All right, so this is gonna go around to BV's pick. We got number 2 Hulk Hogan versus number 7 Bret the Hitman Hart. That's where the Steve veto came in.
oh, this is mine.
Talk to me, BV. Who you think?
I fucking hate this. I absolutely fucking hate picking this. No, because here's the thing. For all of my preferences in wrestling, they would all point towards Bret Hart.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom line is Hogan's a fucking Mount Rushmore. He fucking created wrestling, modern wrestling as it is, that whole fucking character. Even though 30 years he barely learned 3 moves, he's hot garbage in the ring and always has been. once he got off the frickin' little 2 or 3 frickin' catchphrases about the prayers and the vitamins, the training, the prayers, the vitamins, he can't even frickin' like he's not even good on the mic. Bret Hart is like almost a perfect kind of technical wrestler, but dude has never had any charisma. He's also shitty on the mic. He's like in a completely different way Brock Lesnar-esque on the right mic. And as much as like I would love to seek revenge, I can't. I gotta take fucking Hogan, and I hate it because fuck Hogan. And I hope Hogan burns in hell.
Hey, I'll take it.
I would go around the room, but
Why
maybe
does-
kind of play both sides.
Why do I have to be objective? This is bullshit.
All right,
Why
Dave.
can't I just take Ricky Steamboat?
We've got
That was.
today-
Although I think there's a legitimate argument for that. By the
We
way.
got number 14, Chris Jericho, against number 38 of all things, Latino Heat
Would
Eddie
you please
Guerrero.
put this frickin'
Is there anybody I haven't pissed off yet?
in fairness, this needs to be put out of its
Chris
misery.
Jericho.
He's got no business being at this point in the tournament, and he's a
He's
damn
a Cinderella.
he's a damn good wrestler. But that was bull. Yeah,
The
he
Wichita State.
he was. Yeah, he pulled off some crazy shit. But
Did I
no.
get Eddie Guerrero to the Elite Eight? Is that what happened?
Yeah, Eddie Guerrero got to the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, so let's blow up the format a little bit. 'Cause we're
So-
so late in the tournament. We've got 4 names left. We're not going to go and let any one individual pick these last 2.
Okay.
We're going to do a consensus, and that's how we'll pick the final 3 picks on this. Because I don't think
Okay.
getting one person
Well, that's great.
the full championship poll.
Because now I don't have to fuck him because you're the only one that's going to take him. There's no fucking way around that one.
All right. So let's discuss as a room into the one of the final matchups. Number 9, The Undertaker versus number 5, The Rock. Anyone jump in? Listen, talk to me. Anyone got something?
Okay, first of all, fuck your friend just came because the Undertaker should not be here at all by any stretch of the imagination. The fact that he got Stone Cold out and Macho Man out, and neither one of them are in the final 4, and we had to choose
Dave was
between
the upset
this
master.
and the
Street
Undertaker.
Chestnut checkers, apparently.
So fuck that.
What do you got, Gabe? What is your vote out of that pick, real quick?
Anyone other than the Undertaker.
Okay. So that's 1 for the Rock. Steve, what do you got?
I would say The Rock, and I still think his show's overrated though.
The Rock.
This show is overrated. I agree with that.
It's got to be The Rock. I think Undertaker, great career, but The Rock was.
And he made a Final Four or whatever this is. Yeah, I think it's the Final Four.
BV.
I'm going to say this, and this is not to try to fuck him at all. But if you look at it from objective criteria, The Undertaker's that whole...
Who's drawing that money?
No, but he's the character,
Oh, The Rock's
and
drawing the
he's the
money.
character in the whole locker room leader thing.
Yeah.
He barely held championships at all. Cena's overall career is more accolades than Undertaker, and I think the argument of Cena versus The Rock might actually be better than Undertaker versus The Rock. So I'm taking The Rock.
The Rock, and Dave. Make a justification for The Undertaker.
Well, if I go by the logic I had last time, I'd rather watch a Rock match than an Undertaker match. So I would pick the Rock in this situation.
So that's a unanimous
Yeah.
Rock of vote.
So he's not really an
Wait,
Undertaker
wait a
fan.
minute.
He just
I don't
want
want to see. I don't want to see the Rock versus Ric Flair.
So let me
come
get
up,
this
'cause I
fucking
know why
straight.
that
So
vote
you
might go
held
a little
that
bit differently.
You held that thing just to fuck Ric Flair? Oh
But
my God.
But Ric Flair only got through because 2 vetoes. My veto didn't.
Yeah,
work.
I shouldn't have had.
And you had
I
to.
shouldn't have had to use that one because you were just fucking. You had like a temporary mental lapse
No.
of common sense.
Ric Flair top 16 at best.
All right, so again, we predicted this pre-show.
Bite your fucking tongue. Oh my God! Wow. Okay.
We predicted Chris Jericho going really deep in the tournament. Number 2, Hulk Hogan versus number 14, Jericho. It worked pretty good. Let's go around the room again. Let's go. Gabe, go first. Give us your call, and we'll keep going.
Okay, I'm definitely going with Chris Jericho on this one from a perspective of pure entertainment and technical skills in the ring. Because, like we've all hit on before, while Hogan was, the Mount Rushmore of wrestling and stuff, that's fine and dandy that he was, the ground
Using that
breaker
Dave
in that
logic of
sense.
who you'd rather watch for you.
Yeah, I mean, Hogan pretty boring. I mean, I know Tyler's a little kid, and that's what his heartstrings are tugged to. But honestly, like the Macho Man part for me and Hogan made Hogan better than Hogan by himself. Like the Mega Powers were way better. Chris Jericho, funny, fun to watch, good entertainment all of the time. He can be a heel, he can be a face. The Y2J stuff, the jacket, the lion tamer, the finishers, it's all great. Hogan can't hold a candle to him in the ring or on the mic in any capacity whatsoever.
All right, Steve, what do you got?
I like Dave's theory of who I'd watch a 30-minute match with. And since I rented the Best of Hulkamania when I was a kid and realized all those fucking matches in the same match,
Man,
I would watch a 30-minute Chris Jericho match any day. Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania is one of the best matches you're going to see. Give me Chris Jericho.
Tyler.
Well, here's the good thing about Hulk Hogan, though.
There's no.
You don't have to watch a 30-minute Hulk Hogan match
you fall
because they don't exist.
Yeah, I guess
Hulk
you're
Hogan did more in 10 to 12 minutes than anybody on this list could ever dream of doing. When you think of what pro wrestling is, which is a fan, this is the only form of entertainment where a fan can directly have an impact on the match
It's a
itself.
hand language.
You can cheer Hulk Hogan to life if you cheer hard enough. Ric Flair, you can't cheer to life. You can't cheer Macho Man to life. You can't.
You had to go there, didn't you? Okay.
You can bring Hulk Hogan back from the dead, and he will punch the guy, big boot, drop a leg drop, and then you buy his T-shirt and you rip it off your body when you're 12 years old, 10 years old. Hulk Hogan is the greatest professional wrestler of all time. That's my piece.
All right, so it's 2-1. Tyler brought some compelling argument. Let's
A lot
go.
of passion.
Yeah. I mean,
What do you got,
okay.
BB?
So first
Pick
of
us
all,
a
I'm
winner of
letting
it.
some of these, harsh words kind of bounce off here for a second. So I'm gonna ask a question again, right? So until Chris Jericho went to AEW, where he was like their big name ad, did anybody in the world legitimately consider Chris Jericho even in the conversation for the GOAT? With the exception of Chris Jericho's kind of short run with the Undisputed Championship when he came to WWF, has he ever consistently been a main event star? He has spent 80% of 80% of his career as a mid to upper mid card wrestler. He's great in the ring. He's more entertaining than Hogan. He's better on the mic than Hogan. But Hogan is the fucking cornerstone of wrestling, as much as I think he's a total worthless piece of shit. And I'm glad Rocky kicked his bitch ass. But I gotta take Hogan because
did not see that
because Hogan is a real wrestling icon, and Jericho is just an entertaining wrestler that people like. He's like one of those people that people like me are supposed to love because he's got all these like intangibles. He's never really been the top guy for a length of time. And the thing about Hogan, where Gabe was talking about, he didn't need Macho. Macho needed him. He didn't need Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior needed him. Hogan took it from the time he freaking out of nowhere beat Iron Sheik up to the point when he finally walked away and dropped it to Ultimate Warrior. He was not just the biggest name in wrestling. As much as I've always thought Flair was better, we can argue that later. From an actual importance, money drawing perspective, biggest star, biggest character, Hulk Hogan was and is still the absolute fucking building block. He's the Babe Ruth of professional wrestling.
2 for 2.
I already know what he's going to pick. But I'm surprised. I am taking Hulk Hogan because he is legitimately what everybody's trying to anoint Chris Jericho as, and he's a lot of things. He's just not quite there.
No one's.
Okay, I'm just saying. And
very
fuck you for the Flair comment.
But you set up for.
BB's gonna have another
Dave
aneurysm
has got a
soon.
2-2 vote
What?
for Chris Jericho.
You're gonna have an aneurysm right now.
No, I'm good. I just got my shit checked. I'm good to go.
All right. So Dave, you get to be the tiebreaker.
It always comes down to Dave.
He's
What? Okay, now you
important
did
call.
just say that you were. Oh, and this is still Hogan versus Jericho.
Yeah, but I've been paying attention to the bracket and where we were getting to and things like that.
He was gaming the shit
You
out of
also,
it.
When I took out Stone Cold, I was looking at this match that was going to be Hulk Hogan versus Stone Cold Steve Austin no matter what.
Yeah.
And I don't think Stone Cold Steve Austin deserves to beat Hulk Hogan because of everything he just said. Hulk Hogan is the reason that we're here talking about this even. And that's why you have to go for Hulk Hogan.
Whoa!
That was way
I,
tighter.
I hate every bit
That
about
was a triple overtime victory.
I hate everything about that statement, but he is 100% right.
Real quick, we're going to go to the championship. I know Dave's got to go, so let me throw the championship.
Is
being
Rock and Hogan.
The Rock and Hogan. Let Dave go first.
Who won the WrestleMania match between them?
The Rock.
The Rock did.
I'm going to go stick with Hogan just because of what I just said.
You got to go with Hogan for your. So your overall winner of this tournament.
It's
No
Hulk
surprise to any wrestling fan is going to be Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan.
Can you come back to me? Can I
Yeah,
think
we're
about it a
gonna.
little
I
bit?
just want to. He's
Yeah.
got like a
Okay.
time crunch.
I want to
Yeah.
think about it a little bit.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: the greatest match that The Rock ever wrestled was against Hulk Hogan. Let's be real. The most engaged anybody's ever been with a Rock match has been with Hulk Hogan.
It wasn't the
Bill,
Austin.
you just laid out.
That was it was a big match.
All of these people needed Hulk Hogan to become stars, to become legends.
No, I wouldn't go so far as to say Rock needed Hogan to become a star
The
or a
Rock
legend.
needed Hogan to transcend
way.
wrestling. Absolutely.
It helped.
He needed to beat Hulk Hogan to transcend wrestling. Hulk Hogan
didn't.
is a part of the greatest moment
Whoa.
in professional wrestling history, body slamming Andre the Giant, who, if you believe WWF, was undefeated at the time, which we know he wasn't, but that's what we were led to believe. Hulk Hogan is professional wrestling. He is a professional wrestler. When you think of a professional wrestler, how many of these little guys did we vote out? Because they're just little guys. Hulk Hogan is what you think of when you think of professional
No, I never thought I'd see the day that I would meet someone who's a bigger mark for anyone else than I am for frickin' Flair.
So
But
we got
okay.
two Hogans. Go to Gabe.
Oh God.
Dude, let's bring some real world to this. You guys are fucking crazy. The Rock has transcended not only wrestling but sports entertainment as a whole. Hogan and what he did with his movies and blah 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 and the ads
Holtz Bar's a good
is
movie.
nothing compared to what The Rock did on a
Mr.
national level and a money make. You want to keep bringing about money and stuff. He's one of the richest people in the world at this point. The Rock never needed Hogan, and the best matches The Rock wrestled in weren't with him. It was definitely with Austin, like Steve said, for sure. Way more catchphrases, way better on the mic. If Vince McMahon didn't program Hulk Hogan to be Hulk Hogan, he would be nothing. The Rock made himself. He pulled him up by his fucking bootstraps, and The Rock had to remake his own image because Rocky Maivia was shitty, and then he became The Rock, and he became the guy that everyone fucking loved.
And what did you just say? Rocky Maivia was shitty, right?
Yeah, he was.
Hulk Hogan was never shitty. When he went to WCW,
What about when he had Freddie Blassie?
I did see him in the AWA.
Yeah,
when he was
kinda
he
shitty
was
then.
AWA World
Yeah.
Champion.
But he was
because they knew.
but he was still kind of shitty at the
They
time.
knew.
I'm just saying he was
He was
shitty.
in Rocky 3, one of the
Let
greatest
me
movies
pause you
of
for a
all
second.
time.
Gabe, you got any last words for Dave? Dave's got to go.
Hey, good to meet you, man.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
I ever
very
see you in
nice
the
to meet you,
streets, you better
Dave.
watch
I mean,
them
Great.
fuck out.
And I just,
Oh, no, that's fine. Not everybody.
Thanks.
Very nice.
And not everybody has to love Ric Flair.
Thanks.
We're gonna.
All right.
I'm going to refrain from committing a hate crime right
So
now.
we've got 2-1 to wrap it back around. We're 2-1 Hogan Rock. Gabe brought some levity, brought some rock back to it.
Go back to me. Go last.
No, you
What?
gotta go. You're the co-host.
So, let me
So-
ask you the question: do you know who you're going to
can
pick?
wrap
Because
us
I'm not
up.
sure yet.
Okay, so let.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let me think this through. No. I can think this through. It's fine. We can do it. I mean,
Go for it.
okay. So here's if I can think through this for a second. Bear with me.
It's 2-1.
All right, so I've been thinking about things that were said through here, right? So I agree, Rock did not need Hogan, all right? But the other side of that argument is we talk about how white hot Rock and Austin were, and I think the argument can be made that if Hogan didn't exist in the first place, then the Rocks and Austins of that, from an overall popularity level and from an impact standpoint, outside of just hardcore wrestling fans, would probably been more like the Bret Hart, like the 90s when they were kind of looking for someone to take the mantle and run with it. Great wrestlers and people that hardcores liked, but they weren't like worldwide stars. So Rock and Austin wouldn't have been Rock and Austin. They would have been Rocky Maivia and either the Ringmaster or Stunning Steve if that hadn't existed. I don't factor in Rock's, he's the richest guy in the world, but let's be honest, he made probably less than 20% of that in wrestling. Mm-hmm. He's made it somewhere. Now he needed wrestling to get to that.
Yes.
And by the way, Vince still pulls a good 10-15% out of all of it because Vince owns a piece of everything Rock's ever going to do, and Rock's happy to give it to him. But
Still?
yeah.
I don't think I knew that. I didn't think I knew he was still on the WWE team. Wow.
And so that being said, I mean, obviously I prefer The Rock, and I think The Rock was overall better in ring. I think that The Rock, he had good catchphrases, and was good on the mic, but.
As far as changing an industry, you got.
Well, and that's the thing. I'm having a hard time getting. And the thing is, I fucking hate the idea that I'm actually even considering picking Hogan.
The Rock is a phenomenal movie star, but he's a much bigger movie star than he was ever a wrestling star. And he was a big wrestling star. Hulk Hogan, this is a pro wrestling tournament. This isn't a movie tournament. That's all I gotta say.
His closing arguments.
Before you make your call, Steve, what do you got?
I'm sorry.
I'm much easier. Listen, I was 12 years old, fat little Steve, watching fucking Andre and Hogan. I'm cheering for Andre. Hogan's wrestling Warrior. I'm cheering for fucking Warrior. Whoever Hogan wrestled, I'm cheering for the other fucking person. So fuck him. Fuck everything. Weird painted on 5 o'clock shadow in the NWO. That was terrible. His fucking promos are fucking terrible. He compared up his. The Rock is fucking funny. Now I will knock The Rock because some of these movies are dog shit. But other than that,
over the 140 episodes, yeah, we've had.
He had a 3-month, 6-month run with his Rocky Maivia, and they're like, oh, this sucks. Let's go back. Hogan had a long run with Freddie Blassie in the AWA where he was shit too, and then he had to go back and be remade with the mustard and ketchup outfit and everything else too. And they gave him Eye of the Tiger to come out to. Now, I will say Hogan has one of the best ring entrance musics of all time. I Am a Real American.
That? The Jimi Hendrix song.
Oh, fuck that! That's another one too. Fuck him on that one.
Child.
Real American.
His creative control. He was supposed to have a feud with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in the 80s. He turned it down because he's not a top man, brother. Because he's an asshole. Fuck Hogan. Give me The Rock.
And technically, by the way, technically that was Rodman's music initially. Yeah. They pulled that out for him.
So it's 2-2.
2-2 BV.
On BV.
Yeah, okay.
Of all the things that have happened today with your favorites, it does have to feel a little good here that you get to decide.
No, because
the winner of the tournament.
This is the problem. Because as much as you guys all piss me off, and as much as I fucking would just love to start fucking people over, I feel like obligated as like the frickin' old school Slappy here to kind of call it way I see it down the middle, and so. I agree with basically everything you said about Hogan. In fact, my favorite moment with Hogan during the red and yellow years was the Orndorff pile driver. Loved it. Loved the whole, the shaking he did with it. This is one of those things. The way I'm leaning right now is that if The Rock had not gone into, because Austin's body was failing, he was on his way out. If The Rock had not gone on to greener pastures and for the bigger money, he would probably have been on his way to being, possibly without question, the greatest wrestler of all time, because he would have been the guy, and there were enough top guys around him to keep him relevant and whatnot, and he would have been the guy you'd be talking about, like 20 years from now, they'd be talking the same arguments about The Rock that people make about Hogan. He's not professional wrestling. I fucking hate this. Hogan wins.
Oh, wow. Tyler feels so justified.
I just want to thank you guys for wasting 3 hours of my life. Because this is fucking stupid.
For the record, Gabe, I was with you on Jericho and The Rock. Just for the record.
The greatest professional wrestler of all time. This is the definitive list. Put it in all the magazines.
I didn't know the criteria was just because they fucking started it. Whatever. We could have saved 3 hours.
Oh, that was great.
Wow.
What a fun tournament.
Well, all right, Steve, wrap us up for our final time. So
I got to tell you guys, I feel exhausted.
Yeah.
I don't know how you
Everybody needs a
guys
shower.
Okay, would you have? I know you would have picked up. Would you have thought about this? Would you have picked this any differently, or considered picking differently? It had been Austin and Hogan.
Austin and Hogan is a different argument, but ultimately, I think the Hogan arguments stand against anybody. So you got to pick Hogan.
I love Dave's upset picks. They were the best.
Yeah.
Didn't see those coming. I'd like to thank Tyler Elkins, Bill Vicious, and Dave, how do you say his last name?
Havenstein.
Havenstein, and of course Gabe Wington, who I think went to bed. He plugged his phone in.
Let's say goodnight to Gabe Sealing.
Yeah, Gabe is gone. He was pissed as Macho Man was eliminated.
Dude, that was a straight heel move on his part right there. That was awesome.
What'd you say?
That I'm not in a good place right now.
So I'd like to thank everyone. Of course, this ends our 3-year run on the podcast. It was a lot of fun. Go out and try your mushroom jerky. If anyone else, if anything else, it proves that we're all wrestling slappies except for Charles.
It's fun.
And maybe Bill has a little more passion than all of us. I don't know.
I think he's right there.
Yeah. So, all right. There is no next time. Catch us on Facebook, Fat Guys Little Podcast, and YouTube. Until then, catch you around. I don't know what to say here. All right.